The Lone Star Showdown returns to Austin for the first time in 15 years. We've got SEC championship implications. We've got college football playoff implications. And maybe most importantly, 365 days of bragging rights are on the line. It is Texas. It is Texas A&M. And we're here for the next 2 hours getting you set for kickoff. One of the best rivalries in all of college football. The Longhorns and the Aggies duking it out once again alongside Bucky Godbolt. I am BK Brad Kellner, and this is the Texas Sports Unfiltered Longhorn Football pregame show brought to you by Audiovisual Consultations and Covert Bee Cave. We're broadcasting live from the historic Scholz Garten, just a stone's throw away from DKR-Texas Memorial Stadium. The site of tonight's matchup. Buck, happy belated Thanksgiving and a happy game day, my friend.
Yeah, same to you, my friend. It is how the Aggies have grown over the last 15 years.
Yeah, they have.
Yes, in a lot of ways.
What do you mean by that?
You would say their head coach has grown.
Their head coach, I think he's always been pretty big. Yeah.
But yeah, it is. This will be that Longhorn fans have been waiting for quite a while, and it's a great opportunity and a beautiful night for football.
Yes, it is. Should be gorgeous weather. A little chill in the air tonight for Texas and Texas A&M, but a sellout crowd expected at DKR. And you're right, there is a lot of maroon walking around the University of Texas campus today.
Way too much for me.
Yeah.
It's be very uncomfortable to know these people are walking our streets. As a matter of fact, a bunch of them live on our streets.
Well, yeah, they don't live in College Station after they graduate.
No.
You know how that works. Nobody tries to live in College Station after they graduate. They all leave and come here to Austin. That's how it works.
Well, there is going to be a packed house here for sure tonight, for which could be a pretty interesting football game.
Yes, indeed. All right, we are live on YouTube and Twitter and everything right now. We're trying to get our sound here working at Scholz Garten. But Buck, obviously, it has not been the season that Texas or Longhorn fans would have wanted, but pretty golden opportunity tonight, number one, to win a rivalry game, but number two, to also end A&M's bid at a perfect season.
Yeah, I mean, to win 2 in 1 year is a good thing. And for the Texas Longhorns, it will give them an opportunity for somebody to look at them for possibly getting into the playoff. But without a win tonight, BK, there is no chance. There is no chance whatsoever, obviously.
Yeah.
And this will have a beauty contest all over it too. So it'll mean a lot for the Longhorns to play a very good football game, not only win a very good football game, but to win in style, really.
Yeah, I mean, if the Longhorns have any chance of sneaking into the college football playoff, it starts with a win tonight. But like you said, it's not just a win tonight.
No.
You probably need to take care of an A&M team that's the number 3 team in the country that's coming into Austin at a perfect 11-0. Look, even then, that might not be good enough for Texas to make it to the college football playoff. We know they were ranked number 16 in this week's CFP ranking. So the Longhorns need a lot of help if they want to hear their name called 1 week from Sunday when the actual college football playoff bracket is revealed. But obviously, none of that conversation matters if you don't take care of your business tonight. And again, look, if Texas doesn't make the playoff, this is not going to be regarded as a successful season for the university, considering where this program has been the last 2 years, considering the fact that they started the year as the number 1 team in the land. But, you take some solace and you go 3-0 in your rivalry games this year. You already beat Oklahoma.
That's right.
You already beat Arkansas. If you can beat Texas A&M, that's, again, it doesn't take the sting out of the fact that you won't be able to compete for a national championship in December and into January. But that would at least help out some of the wound that Texas is dealing with in 2025.
Yeah, as the season's gone by, we can see this is not a national championship type of team.
No.
This is a team that's flawed in a couple different spots. But those couple spots are very key spots on your football team. Other spots are pretty strong, but there are spots that, in order to win a championship, you've got to be solid at them. And the Texas Longhorns this year, 2025, are not.
Well,
there are things to build on. There's some things that they have to get a lot better at. But beating Texas A&M would be one step in the right direction, I would say.
Absolutely. And look, bragging rights on the line. Obviously, a lot of recruiting battles within the states. There'll be a number of kids here who are considering both the University of Texas and Texas A&M University. So you're right. I mean, this can be a building block for 2026, finding a win over Texas A&M tonight. And look, if Texas does win this game, the Longhorns will be the first team since LSU in 2019 to beat 3 AP top 10 teams in the same season.
Yeah, and some would say that's a heck of a season, but there'll be a lot of disappointed Longhorn fans for that.
It is a heck of a season, but again, it's all about making it to the college football playoff, and Texas might not get there because of some of the losses that they've had. But look, that's life in the SEC. You play a tough schedule every year.
Sure.
Texas was dealt a pretty tough hand this season, and again, you only give yourself a chance to impress the committee and get into that discussion for a college football playoff spot if you find a victory tonight. So that is what it is all about.
Well, the home cooking has been good to the Texas Longhorns, 5-0 here. So
yeah,
this is an important game, and it's a home game. And then for a lot of Longhorns, this could be their last game.
Yeah, senior day for the University of Texas. I think 22, 23, 24 players expected to participate in those pregame senior day festivities. A lot of guys who have meant a lot to the University of Texas over the years, some starters, some key contributors, some guys who, of course, were a part of the 2 college football playoff semifinal runs in 2023 and 2024. What better way to send those guys out than with the win over Texas A&M in their final home game in Austin?
No doubt.
It'd be really, really nice. One of the big storylines for this football game, the health of Anthony Hill Jr., a guy who's not a senior, but a guy who's likely leaving Texas after this season. A lot of first-round projections for Anthony Hill. If you take a look at 2026 NFL mock drafts, we know how good of a player he's been. All-American last year, preseason All-American this year. Texas's leading tackler. He's just been one of the ultimate playmakers in college football for his 3 seasons at Texas. Been listed as questionable on the injury report throughout the week. And Buck, I've read from a couple of different insiders today that the Longhorns not expecting to have Anthony Hill. I have not seen anything official yet from the university. We'll get the final injury report here shortly. We'll see if Texas even says anything about Anthony Hill, or if we just have to wait until kickoff to see if number 0 on defense is out there. But obviously, if he can't go, that is a huge, huge loss for a Texas defense that has already been struggling as of late.
Yeah, it really, really hurts if he's not on the field, just with his speed, his tackling ability alone, and his leadership. And this is the kind of game that you would need him to play really, really well. And I would most certainly think that he would if he's on the field. But he's also, it seems like, BK, he may have an injury that is a lot more serious than we think, because I can't imagine him not wanting to be a part of this. I mean, this is something that the doctors have probably told him. If he doesn't play in this game, I would think this is the doctor's orders is, oh, no, this hand isn't ready for you to go out there and smash it around right now.
Yeah. Man, I don't think Anthony Hill wants to miss this game, right? Which could be his final game at DKR.
For sure.
Obviously could not play against Arkansas. So as it stands, Anthony Hill's last game is that loss against Georgia.
Yes.
He's done too much in his college career to have that be the final chapter of his story. I think this may be the doctors are saying no. Anthony Hill saying, but wait, and the doctors are saying no. That's the case. That guy is going to do whatever he can. And if he is out there, it's literally him telling the doctors, F off. I don't care what you say. I got to play. Yeah. And again, we will see. But it sounds like Texas has at least been practicing this week with the anticipation that Anthony Hill can't go, dealing with that Oxer's fracture. That's what they call it. It's a broken bone in his right hand. He suffered it in the 4th quarter against Georgia. Again, he missed the most recent game against Arkansas just 6 days ago. The fact that it's a short week, probably not helping Anthony Hill a whole heck of a lot. But, man, that would be a big loss. And you couple that with the fact that another key contributor in that Texas linebacker room, Anthony Smith, is going to be out for the first half of this football game due to a targeting suspension from a penalty that he committed against the Razorbacks 6 days ago. So this Texas linebacker room, which has been a little up and down this season, they're going to be potentially without 2 huge contributors for the first half of this football game.
Yeah, I mean, and a couple guys that have really been real contributors, as you said, guys that you really, really need. If Anthony Hill's not ready to go, to lose 2 guys at that position, it's going to hurt. Because now you're going to bring in somebody who hasn't had a lot of experience. Well, I mean, they can rotate. They have enough guys to rotate around.
Yeah.
They can take guys that they generally put outside, bring them back inside. I'm sure PK has something that he's been doing all week long to prepare for this.
Sounds like Trey Moore's been getting a lot of fun inside. And, Texas tried that last week against Arkansas. Didn't really work very well. They ended up flip-flopping him with Leon Lafau, and Lafau played more inside. But again, you had Anthony Smith for the entire game,
right.
so that made life a little easier. A name to look out for tonight, Elijah Barnes, nicknamed Bo. He is a true freshman linebacker, wears number 30. He's only appeared in a few games this season. The Longhorns were planning on redshirting him, which I think they still can, even if he plays in this football game today. But the reason I bring that up is you're talking about a guy who hasn't played a whole lot of meaningful football in his college career, and he's not going to start tonight. But in that first half, when Texas is potentially down a couple of linebackers, they could be relying on a true freshman, and that's the most ideal situation.
Not in this game.
Not really in any game.
Not in any game, but particularly in this game, I playing the number 3 team in the nation.
Yeah.
You can poo-poo about A&M not playing anybody, but their ranking shows a lot, and the willingness to win every game so far is pretty doggone good, no matter who shows up on your schedule.
You can only beat who's on your schedule.
That's all you can do, and they've done just that.
I am going to poo-poo A&M schedule because they haven't beaten anybody good SEC play this season. They haven't beaten a single team with a winning record in conference play. I think I saw earlier, Buck, the Aggies are 7-0 in the SEC, and the combined record of the teams that they have beaten, 11-40 in the conference. So, no, they haven't really played anybody in the SEC.
Mississippi State over and over and over again.
Yeah, they did play them. South Carolina. I mean, look, they've taken advantage. Like you said, you can only play who's on your schedule. I think the Longhorns kind of benefited from a favorable schedule in 2024.
Yes, they did.
It obviously helps. You need a few things to go your way if you're going to make a run to the college football playoff, and the schedule has been one of those things for Texas A&M. So I think that's kind of good news for Texas, is the fact that this is the most talented team the Aggies have seen maybe all season. They obviously went to South Bend and beat Notre Dame in week 2. Huge victory for Texas A&M. Scored on a 4th and goal in the final minute to get that win. You give them some credit for that one. It is not an easy place to win at all, and Notre Dame's likely going to be in the college football playoff this season.
Yes.
But number one, I think Texas might be better than Notre Dame. Number two, that game was a long time ago. So it's been a while since the Aggies have seen a team with as much talent as the University of Texas.
Yeah, but by the week, they keep getting better as they play in some of these weaker opponents. They seem to be getting better. They played a little bit down to Mississippi State. They played down to something. They played down to South Carolina, for sure, in that game, and having to come back and get themselves woken up in the second half. But generally, to me, BK, slowly but surely, I think that team has gotten better. The quarterback has gotten better. The offensive line is the best in the SEC right now. The defensive line, they've got some guys on the outside that can come get you. Come get your quarterback if you're not careful. Texas A&M can get onto your quarterback.
Yeah,
they really, really can. They're one of the best in the nation at getting to the quarterback. So you're gonna have to be careful of that.
Second in the country in sacks this season, behind only Oklahoma. And they've got Cassius Howell, who leads the SEC with 11.5 sacks. He's tied for second in the country with those 11.5 sacks.
The game plan is he can't be the one that wrecks the game plan.
Yeah, I think the Texas offensive line has played better as of late, right? They've rotated and shuffled their starting 5 throughout the course of the season, and it feels like the current version of 5 that they have has been the best group that they've had, but it's still been up and down. And the last time Texas played against an elite defensive front was the game in Georgia a couple of weeks ago, and Texas got bullied. They couldn't run the football. Arch Manning was running for his life. That's the type of defensive front you're going to be seeing tonight.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's going to be very similar to what you saw at Georgia. And it's that type of game. It's a championship game.
Yeah.
And so you can only expect that. It wouldn't matter where the game was, whether it was here in College Station, out in the backyard somewhere. Expecting a rivalry game like this for the defenses to bring it. And I think Mike Elko is going to come with a lot of things he's going to throw at Arch Manning tonight.
I think so.
I don't think they're going to hang back in base defense and say, you know what, Texas is not going to run the ball well. We can prevent that from happening to us. We need to drop back in coverage. I think he's going to bring a lot of guys from a lot of different angles.
Yeah, and they don't base defense a whole lot.
No.
I mean, that's what Mike Elko is all about. Different looks, different disguises. He'll bring pressure from everywhere. Awesome on third down. He's not scared to bring a ton of pressure with his safeties, especially. He's very aggressive from the back end of his defense. And like you said, third down.
Yes.
That's a huge key for Texas, is to stay out of third and long. The Aggies are the best third down defense in America this year, and it's really not even close. Texas A&M giving up just 22% of opponent third down conversions this year. I think Indiana is second in that stat, and they're at about like 27%.
Wow.
So pretty significant difference between number one and number two in that category. And yeah, A&M's pretty good at a lot of things. You kind of have to be 11-0, but their superpower, especially on the defensive side of the football,
Yes, it
is
is.
just how good they are on third down. And how about this? It's 21.5%. I'm rounding up to 22 to try to be nice to Texas. The 21.5% conversion rate, on pace to be the second best in FBS in the last 20 seasons. The only defense that's been better on third downs is 2016 Michigan. Gave up 20.9% of third down conversion. So, yeah, A&M has been great in that money down. And a huge they're so good on first and second down.
They stuff you.
It's not like, it's a bunch of 3rd and 2s and they're just stuffing you over and over again. The Aggies' opponents have averaged 9.2 yards to go on their third down attempts this year. So they win on early downs. A huge key for Texas today, Buck, is to win on those early downs. 2nd and 4 is your best friend today.
Absolutely.
2nd and 5 is your best friend today. If you're in 2nd and 15, if you're in obviously 3rd and 15, if you got penalties, if you're going backwards, negative plays, you don't have a shot against this defense.
No, and it's not about what you do in the run game. It's about what you do in the passing game. You have to get yardage. You have to get some yards, as you said, BK, on 1st and 2nd down in order to get the 3rd and short. If you're going to get to 3rd, you need to be 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. You don't need to be 3rd, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and above in this football game. You really need to be 3rd and manageable. And it's like I said, it's not about what you do on run downs. It's what you do on pass downs also.
For sure. And I think pass downs can be first down.
Yes.
And second down.
I got no problems with it today.
You don't have to wait until 3rd down. You drop Arch Manning back to throw the football. I mean, that's been the strength of this Longhorn offense as of late. Yeah, you would love to see it. I'm sure we'll spend a lot of time throughout this show. We're talking about whether or not the Texas run game can get any football of his career over the last month of the season.
No doubt. He looks so comfortable at the position right now. You know, it's taking, some would say it's taking him way too long, but for a young guy in this kind of conference and starting out from the very beginning, I think it's just been fine.
Yeah,
I think so. It really has.
And look, he didn't get a whole lot of help. He still hasn't been getting a whole lot of help this year because the offensive line's been shaky. The run game is the worst in the SEC, and his receivers have been dropping passes. But outside of that, everybody else was doing
That's true. The defense is struggling that time.
That's the most frustrating part, maybe, of this entire season. And I think we talked about it last week on Saturday right here at Scholz Garten. It's like early on, we were just waiting for the offense to come along. It's like if Arch Manning could take a step, man, this Texas defense is so good. This is a team that has a shot. And then, Arch Manning and the Longhorn offense has come a long way. Now the defense is going backwards, and it's kind of a grab bag. Like almost a box of chocolates where you really don't know what Texas team you are going to get. I have won 5 of their last 6 games, and you brought up something earlier, Buck, that I think is hugely important. I mean, Texas is 5-0 at home this year.
Right.
And, I mean, they've been really good in the entire state of Texas, too. Obviously, the Oklahoma game in Dallas, maybe the most complete performance of the year for the Longhorns. Arch Manning has also been a lot better in the friendly confines of DKR. Yes, there are going to be a lot of Aggie fans here, but this is going to be a great home field opportunity for Texas, and hopefully the Longhorn offense continues to fire the way it has been here at DK.
The fast starts over the last 2 games here.
Be nice. Be nice to see another one of those.
Yes, I think that's going to be really important as to how you get off and how you get off to a quick start when you have the ball offensively. You know, the defense is going to do what they do. I mean, I think they're going to play well enough. Texas A&M is going to get their explosive plays here or there. Not a handful, a couple plays, but not a whole bunch.
You can't let them get a whole bunch. No. They want to get a whole bunch.
Yes, they do.
You got to.
They're quite capable of doing that.
Right. You'd like to limit it to just one hand, the amount of explosive plays that A&M has.
One hand and take 3 fingers away, maybe. Take 2 fingers away. If you can get 3, okay.
If you do that, then you're going to win this game going away.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That's what we're looking for.
Absolutely.
To your point, and that's, one of the biggest keys, I think, for Texas is to limit the explosives. Marcel Reed, the Aggie quarterback, 43 passes of 20 or more yards this season. That is second in the SEC behind only Ty Simpson at Alabama. And meanwhile, the Texas defense, they've given up 37 passes of 20 yards or more this season. tied for second worst in the SEC.
Yeah, that can't happen tonight.
And most of that has been in the last month.
That's what I said.
Vanderbilt, Georgia, even Arkansas last week. Just way too many big plays. Some of it on the ground, but most of it through the air. And yeah, the Aggies, well, they've got those two elite weapons on the outside, and Marcel Reed's been doing a great job getting them the football. If you're Texas, you want to be aggressive, but you don't want to be reckless, because A&M can hit you over the top if you're stupid in terms of bringing pressure.
Yeah, I think as much as we'd like to see PK get after them a little bit and force Reed to get off of his spot and move around a little bit and throw, maybe get some overthrows, you've got to be careful.
Yeah.
If you leave some of your guys on an island, because that island will be inhabited by 6 points or six big ones. I mean, that's what's scary about them. You leave them one-on-one with a couple of your guys right now that are struggling, and they're gone.
We got a couple of freshman starters.
They're gone.
With Grayson Littleton
Wow.
and presumably Cade Phillips, who was just taken over. He was a starter pretty late in the season.
And that's who they got to cover, those two dudes.
Those two guys. Yep. So that's, it's such a precarious situation for Pete Kwiatkowski to be in right now. And obviously every Longhorn fan, playing armchair quarterback, yelling at the TV, do this, do that, do this. I'm sure PK wants to be more aggressive. And I think I would like for him to be more aggressive. But also, when you don't trust your guys on the back end, it's really hard to bring blitzers because you're taking away from guys to cover. And that's a scary combination with that offense against this secondary.
You're more apt to let them catch and then rally to the football than to let them get behind you.
And I think that's what it's going to be more often. I think the hope is for PK. And look, Texas is going to blitz some tonight. It's not like they won't bring any pressure, but I think the majority of the game plan for the Longhorns is probably going to be like, let's just keep them in front of us.
Yes.
A&M, they don't do a lot of things poorly. They're not a great red zone offense. So PK typically in his Texas career has done a great job of putting together a bend, don't break game plan. The last few weeks, Buck, you and I were talking about this morning. It has broken a lot more.
Sure.
If you could get back, you're okay to bend. A&M has not been an elite red zone offense. If you can hold this Aggie group to 3, then you've got a very, very good shot tonight. So I think it's going to be PK just like, let's keep stuff in front of us so we don't give up that 40, 50, 60-yard touchdown over the top. And goal line stands were a huge part of this game last year in College Station. So I would not be surprised if Texas is like, we're willing to give up yards today, but we've got to make sure we are buttoned up inside the red area.
Yeah, I mean, our red area has got to be from the 30 in because they can score from the 30 in with their guys.
Yeah.
That's the problem with them. They don't have to grind it out in order to get to the end zone. They can make those plays 25, 30 yards down the field with their wide receivers.
Where you keep stuff in front of you.
Yes.
That's why you do that, is to prevent them from being able to do what you're talking about. You're right, it's an explosive offense, but the whole point of keeping stuff in front of you is to not allow that to happen.
Make them have to make another play and another play and another play.
Yeah. It's a group that does get penalized a lot.
Yes, they do.
Again, Marcel Reed is prone to the turnovers this season. So the more plays you make A&M run, the more chances that you give them to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, this is a huge game for Marcel Reed. This is a huge game for him. Come to Austin in this kind of atmosphere.
Oh my God. It's a legacy game.
An 11-0.
Yeah, legacy game, right, for both quarterbacks.
There is no doubt.
I mean, your legacy when you play quarterback at the University of Texas or Texas A&M University is partially defined by what you do in this game.
That's true.
In the Lone Star Showdown.
And now that it's back, it's right here. It's looking at you right in the face here.
Right, absolutely. And, both of these teams, like last year, this game was for a spot in the SEC championship. For A&M, this game is for a spot in the SEC championship. These are two programs that, playing for bigger things than just one game these days. But rivalry games, I don't have to tell anybody how important rivalry games are. I don't have to tell anybody. I mean, people talked about this game every year when they weren't playing this game. But 13 years, it's like Texas fans couldn't stop checking in on A&M, and Aggie fans couldn't stop checking in on Texas. It's like this game means so much to so many different people that, Marcel Reed has done so many good things for Texas A&M this year. They lose. There are going to be people questioning whether or not he's good enough to be the quarterback at A&M.
There's no doubt.
As crazy as that sounds. March Manning has obviously played great over the last month. If he goes out and throws 3 interceptions with the Longhorns, there's going to be people saying, yeah, he's just not really a big game quarterback. I'm not sure he's
because they count this as a big game.
It's a huge game.
No matter what the records would be, BK, this is as you said, this is a legacy game for both quarterbacks right here.
And when
it's a real legacy game for the head coach of the University of Texas.
It is.
It's a win in a big way. over a top 5 team.
No doubt. Big one for both coaches, but you're right. With Steve Sarkisian,
The dude's going to the playoffs.
other dude's going to the playoffs.
Yes.
The Aggies really like beating Texas, and Mike Elko could be open too.
But they wake up on Sunday still thinking, guess what?
Yep.
We're still going.
Yep. Cost ourselves a shot at the SEC championship. But you're right. A&M's in the playoff. Either way, thanks to their impressive win over Stanford last week.
Yes.
Wow, what a tough one they had going into this game. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, for Steve Sarkisian, I think it's a bigger game for him.
No doubt about it.
He's lost 6 straight against top 5 teams, and he's had 2 opportunities this year. One against Ohio State back in week 1, the other one against Georgia a couple of weeks ago. Things have not gone well for him.
Yeah, I've been very apt to get on him about this, the 6 games.
Yeah.
And this may be the one. This can be the one that starts to change me a little bit about, can this guy win a game over a top 5 team?
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers are just going to start proving that, no, Buck, you can't do it. He hasn't done it.
People are calling him the James Franklin of the SEC.
Wow.
Right now. That is not the company you want to keep.
No, it's not.
I think that's a little ridiculous, but Steve Sarkisian's record, and it's not just during his time at Texas, it goes back to USC and Washington.
Yes.
He's just struggled. 2 top 10 wins this year, but the top 5 teams have been a thorn in his side this season. And the good news is Texas has been a lot better at home. They've got a top 10 win against Vanderbilt here in Austin. They've got a top 10 win against Oklahoma in Dallas. So the hope is, they could take care of business here in Austin.
It's big.
But it's a big one for Steve Sark. Like, this has not been a great year for Coach Sark. I think that's pretty safe to say, right? I mean, preseason number 1, Bucky's got his own fan club here.
Oh, these are wonderful folks that I worked with over at the university.
Fan club. You got like 18 people saying hi to you. I got one guy with the shalom. I also had some guy.
What are my Aggie friends? When do they start? Don't I have Aggie friends?
You smell them? This place smells like shit because of all the Aggies who are walking around. It's gross, dude. It's a different stench in here.
Where are my people
I
at?
see people walking around with sheep, people walking around with goats and dogs. I don't think you could bring those animals in here.
Well, we're not eating the dogs tonight.
But we didn't let them bring Rivalry in here.
Oh,
Remember, they didn't let us bring Bebo to College Station last season, so Texas going turnabout is fair play.
and we're not going to be the bigger university yet.
No, of course not.
No.
No, it's rivalry.
Yes.
Class in this rivalry, go somewhere else. It's a rivalry. You're supposed to be doing stuff like that to your
The
opponents.
Georgia Tech game if you want some class.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to let you bury your dog in our staging. That's not what they do. A&M, they bury the old reveillees like right around Cotton Field. We don't want that here,
No.
all right? You're cursing your own team by burying dead dogs at your place.
Not the dogs, but burying the dog.
I'm hoping we're burying the dogs.
Yes, tonight.
For sure, record. I don't want anything bad to happen to Reveille, but we're trying to bury the collies
Absolutely.
this evening. So, yeah, so it's just a weird stench in here with Aggie fans rolling around.
It's different. I mean, there's such a different atmosphere. We've had Georgia fans through here. We've had Florida fans through here over the last 2 years now. This is different. It's a different feel. It's a different kind of vibe around here.
We've been at Scholz Garten for every home game in each of the last 2 years. There's been some big home games here the last 2 years.
Yes.
I haven't seen anything like this.
No.
I mean, I try to get here at the same time I do every week.
No.
And it just took forever. I mean, traffic's insane. And it's a line to get in 2 hours before we started our show.
Oh, yeah.
At 2 o'clock, there was a line to get into Scholz Garten. That was more than 4 hours away from kickoff. I mean, this place is a madhouse. All the parking lots are insane. I mean, you don't need anyone to tell you how big of a game this is. Just like drive around downtown Houston and near the University of Texas campus, and you could just feel it in the air how big of a deal this is.
Yeah, this is always a fun. This is always, when I coach, this is always a fun. This was the game for me.
Yeah.
More so than playing OU. This is the one that really, really mattered to the people. They don't like OU, but they really don't like Texas A&M.
I don't really like either of them.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest with you. But yeah, this game always being at the end of the season, the build up, the anticipation, it's a big deal. And look, we obviously love the Cotton Bowl setting for Texas and Oklahoma, but the fact that this is a home and home,
Yes.
and you get 100,000 fans at either venue being a part of this just makes it feel a little bit bigger.
And it has
at times.
such meaning to it tonight.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yeah, and it's great that the fact that, the first 2 years that these teams are sharing a conference, once again, there has been something on the line. SEC title implications, college football playoff implications. Like you said,
undefeated season for Texas A&M.
Bingo. Like you said, these two teams could be 11, and it's still a huge freaking deal. But the fact that there's so much at stake here, unfortunately, more for A&M than there is for Texas.
Yes.
So much at stake here. Just makes this feel even more bad.
I think it means a lot to this head coach at the University of Texas. This is,
oh my God,
he needs to get this one off his back in a bad way.
Yeah, it's been a bad year. So Texas, obviously, preseason number one. The Longhorns are 8-3. It's not what anybody expected. I mean, most people, I shouldn't say most people, but Texas was the favorite to win the national championship going into the season. And it felt like just about every national college football analyst at least had Texas in the playoff.
Yeah, and there's no doubt.
Whether you were picking them to make a run, to win it all, whatever, it felt like 90 to 95% of not just burnt orange Kool-Aid drinkers, but national college football people were picking the Longhorns to get one of the 12 spots in the CFP. Doesn't feel like that's going to happen, right? You've got the loss to Florida, the 3-8 Florida team. You've got another loss to Ohio State. You've got another loss to Georgia. And all the NFL rumors, too, like that just hasn't helped. Feels like there's been a lot of negative publicity around Steve Sarkisian here in 2025. Again, winning this game against Texas A&M doesn't take all of the sting away from everything that has gone wrong for this Texas team, but it can really help get Sark back in the good graces of Longhorn Nation.
Yeah, and I think it not only just helps you out, it really catapults you into 2026 and what you can do and what you need to do and the positions that you need to find in order to get back to where you want to be. Because we know, 12 teams now, this thing will start to grow until it gets ridiculous 16 teams.
Right.
You can't go in after this year as this thing grows and not make the playoff.
You're right.
Period. I mean, that's not going to hold water here.
You're right.
At Texas either.
It does sound like this will be the last year of a 12-team
Yes.
playoff, and maybe it's 14, maybe it's 16. By the time this show is over, it'll be 32.
Yes, it will.
What's the NCAA basketball tournament at now? 68?
68.
Why not go 68?
Well, it'll get old in a hurry not being in it.
Yeah.
After this year. So there's a lot of things that this game springboards you into.
Like Sharks, let's call it. He's a victim of his own success.
Yes.
You make it to the playoff the last 2 years. You're the only team in America to make it to the playoff 2 years in a row. Like the bar gets raised. It's always high at Texas, but obviously there was a bit of a grace period at the beginning of the Steve Sarkisian era because of where Texas football had been from the two coaches who were there before him. Now the honeymoon period is, Buck, we've gotten so many texts and comments throughout the year on our daily show about people wanting Steve Sarkisian gone. Imagine what happens if he loses this game tonight. This team goes 8-4. You lose to A&M. You're watching A&M in the playoff and in the SEC title game.
Wow.
You're watching Texas Tech in the college football playoff. If Oklahoma beats LSU, you're watching them in the college. It's three biggest rivals right there. Only college football play. So not only are you underachieving, but you're looking around at your neighbors and you've got the shitty Christmas lights.
And exactly. And what will happen is, as long as you don't come out with the crappy recruiting out of this,
Right?
that's how important this game
It's
is.
a big one, too.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So it's, look, it's a big offseason for Steve. Like, that's another storyline here. Maybe more of a macro thing than a micro, but I wonder if some of the Texas assistants are coaching for their job today. Like, Sark's not getting fired for
You
anything.
can't stay pat. You can't come back with the same exact. You can't run this back.
Right. What happens if Texas beats A&M by 3 touchdowns today? Good Steve Sarkisian, who's clearly a loyal guy, he's had the same coordinators for all 5 years of his run in Austin, a lot of the same assistants.
Well, I think if he understands exactly what he's in a managerial part of it, what he's done wrong, and what he has to fix,
Right.
I think he could run it back with those guys.
I just wonder, like, is he coaching for the ability to do that?
For sure.
And are these assistants?
Well, I think he's coaching for the ability to go to his AD and say, I think we got this handle. I think I understand some of the mistakes we've made at some of the positions, and here's how we're going to fix it. But I don't think he just says to him, everything's good.
Right.
This is not, it's good at 9-3, 8-4. It's not good.
Yeah, maybe the decision's already been made, right? Just the fact that Texas is probably not in the playoff, like, even if they do win today, it might not be enough.
And as I told you, the room blocks are all done down the Alamo Bowl. So
God.
good about that. I did see guys in green jackets here earlier today.
What, Masters?
No,
What a Fuzzy Zeller died yesterday.
kind of lime jackets, the bright ones that represent someplace probably down in Citrus, Florida, somewhere like that.
Oh,
I saw those guys cruising around here, which scares me.
we've got bowl game representative here.
Yes, yes.
Oh, Jesus. That's not what we're looking for.
No, it's not.
We need them. Why are they here?
They can make them so. This is the end of the last week. Somebody has to talk to Texas if they don't make it to the playoffs.
Go spend your Thanksgiving somewhere else.
Go spend it with your family. Go
with your family. We don't want you here. We want you jabroni bowl here. We don't need that right now. Shout out to our man Adam, by the way, Waterloo Printing and Graphics. Great sign behind us. All the koozies our guy Mason is passing out. All made by Adam and his great team at Waterloo. He just walked by.
I don't want your team playing in a bowl game anywhere.
I want to play in the postseason.
Well,
in the playoffs.
You still got a long shot to do that.
I know.
Or draw. So
well, I know.
I'm
past the point.
For me, it's not one of those, oh, give me another week of practice. None of that crap. That doesn't hold any water.
No.
I'd rather go home and rest. I'd rather have my players get the hell away from me.
We are thankfully.
That extra 2 weeks means a lot to me.
Yeah. It's winter break. Get your ass out of here.
Get away from me. I've seen enough of your 8-4 season or whatever it is.
The Texas fans will be like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
So we're supposed to go to Tampa. No, I'm going to stay home for the holidays. Thank you very much.
We'll wait till next year when the 16 teams not get a chance to go into a playoff game.
Yeah, we play Ohio State in week 2 here in Austin. Yeah, I'll go to that game.
Yes.
Next year, I don't know if I'm going to go to a Reliant Quest Bowl or wherever the hell Texas is going to be going. Cheez-It Bowl, Mayo Bowl.
No.
We got a Beans Bowl now, don't we?
Those things used to mean something.
They used to mean something.
Nothing.
Not a whole lot.
No.
So, yeah, it's
not at this level it does.
You hope Texas. It's you win today, you give yourself a chance, but obviously you got to root like hell against a bunch of other teams.
Yes, you do.
This weekend, Texas didn't get any help from Kansas today against Utah, but it's obviously a very outside shot. But yeah, I mean, back to the assistant conversation, and we'll get to some of our sponsored segments here at Scholz Garten. I wonder if Kyle Flood's coaching for his job today. I do. The offensive line has been horrible this season. Does he get another chance to run it back? He's also the offensive coordinator by title here. Obviously, that's been a conversation you and I and countless Texas fans have had. Should Steve Sarkisian hire an offensive play caller? Like, okay, if you do that, Kyle Flood can't be the offensive coordinator anymore. You got to give that title to somebody else.
Chip Kelly's still around now.
He just got fired by the Raiders. Yep. Chip Kelly, obviously the offensive coordinator for the Ohio State last year. Helped lead them to a national championship.
I wonder if that phone call could come.
You wonder if that phone call could come. I mean, there's plenty of other options out there. Some Longhorn fans were clamoring for Bobby Petrino, the current interim coach at Arkansas. It's a good offense this year.
Yeah.
Not really good at anything else.
So keep that guy wherever he's going to be.
Keep the motorcycles away from him. Keep the co-eds away from him as well. Feels like the right move there. But yeah, Kyle Flood's a name that I think about. Chad Scott, the running backs coach. Buck, this is the worst Longhorn rushing attack since 1944. I get it. Chad Scott in his first year, he didn't bring in the talent. He didn't bring in the personnel in that room. So I'm much blame that he has to hold for that. But hasn't really gotten better as the year has gone along.
I haven't seen anything that's improved about any of the players that are playing for him.
Yeah, and you look at Dwayne Aquina and Mark Orfe, the two secondary coaches like that.
Taking coaches from Rutgers. Leave them be.
The secondary has taken a massive step back, and obviously Blake Gideon and Terry Joseph left for different jobs, and Texas fans were very excited about bringing Dwayne Aquina back, but it hasn't been the secondary that we had hoped here in 2025, especially down the stretch. So, yeah, you wonder if those guys, and again, 3 of the names that I just mentioned are in their first year.
Yes.
So you don't know how quick of a hook Steve Sarkisian is going to have. You don't know if Sark's going to even be allowed to make that decision or it's going to come from above. I do wonder if people are coaching for their jobs tonight.
I don't know. I think he's been very loyal to his people. I think he feels like he can get some things. He feels like he can probably get some things fixed. I think he understands some of the things went wrong, definitely offensively, and what they've done on the offensive line. You can't build your program anymore in college football off of your high school offensive line, and that's just not going to work. And he's done it with the defensive line. He's figured that part out.
Yep.
And now it takes a punch in the face to understand you can't do it on either side of the ball.
We have an in-person text for John Makovic. Can we get John back on the sideline somewhere?
That's a little.
82 years young, sir.
Yeah, that time has passed.
You know what John Makovic's last coaching job was, at least according to Wikipedia?
What was he doing? I know he was in Arizona, but he was also
he was apparently the head coach of the Italy national team.
That's right.
Why was Austin that?
Because he wanted to show the world how great a coach he was. It's not just here. He wants to show the world.
Apparently, he was there for 10 years. Until 2023. That guy coached till he was 80. What are you doing? You should still be coaching.
Nah, dude. No.
You're only 70.
No. I can't hang with these kids.
You want to go to Italy?
No thanks.
You're out on that. What about the XFL? Bob Stoops came calling and offered you an assistant gig. And
Make too much money with you. Why would have these kids tell me, no, coach, I'm not doing this or I'm not doing that.
I wish you were making coaches money with us. That'd be great. That's the goal right there. That's the goal right there. But yeah, I mean, there's some macro conversations to be had with Texas. And again, I think they're going to happen regardless of how tonight goes. But we know how impatient college football fans are in 2025. And, between 9-3 and 8-4. Neither is the standard at Texas, but there is a difference. And again, you look around. Someone commented on the Clean Cause YouTube comment line. Tell North Texas might make the playoff. We're going to have 3 teams in your own state get in, plus Oklahoma get in.
Yeah, we'd like to switch that schedule with North Texas at any given time.
Yeah, how do we get a G5 team? Can we get that one, please? Maybe we need to do what Notre Dame does and play like 2 tough games and a bunch of cupcakes every season.
Yes, all the militaries love the military, but quit picking on Navy and Army and the Merchant Marine.
Yeah, they're very good at that. And the Space Force, I believe they get to play every year now at Notre Dame. All right, Buck. Well, you mentioned the Clean Cause YouTube comments line. Have a word for our great friends at Clean Cause.
Other folks at Clean Cause, 50% of the profits from Clean Cause go back to the community, whether it's this community or communities around the nation. For those that have addiction problems, whether it be alcohol or drug addiction, Clean Cause has been there for years and years in the state of Texas, but now they're taking their business outside of the state and trying to do it nationally. And their yerba mate drinks are absolutely delicious. But as I said, it's about the cause itself. It's about helping folks that have struggles and addiction problems. Clean Cause has been there for them for years and years. When I first came to Texas, I was drinking those Clean Cause drinks. I saw those drinks all over, and they are all over. H-E-B.
Yep.
They're at 7-Eleven. They're in Chevrons. They're all over. So people love the drink, but they really love the cause. And that's what I like about Clean Cause. As I said, 50% of the profits that they have go right back into rehabbing folks that are really, really struggling all over not only the state of Texas, but the nation now.
Absolutely. Well said, my friend. You can find out more information at cleancause.com. Feel good.
Yes, sir.
With Clean Cause. All right, let's dive back into this game, back into the conversation about the Texas offense against the Texas A&M defense. Buck Arch Manning has been on a tear as of late. His last 4 games, he's got 14 total touchdowns. 11 passing, 2 rushing. Obviously, that receiving touchdown that he had on that cool trick play against Arkansas 6 days ago. Also, just 2 turnovers for Arch Manning in the last month. He's averaging close to 330 passing yards per game. He's looking like the guy that everybody expected him to be going into the year. And you talked about it. Experience.
Yeah.
He's gotten more reps. He's gotten more experience. It's felt like his internal clock has slowed down. If Texas is going to win this game, number 16 is going to have to put on a Superman cape and be the reason why.
Yeah, I think he will continue to do it. He will continue slowly but surely, BK, really find himself as being one of the better quarterbacks in the nation. As they fix things around him now, I think he's going to get better and better. And he just looks comfortable. He looks comfortable as a quarterback. He looks comfortable as just a college football player. With all that pressure, the pressure still will remain with him because of his last name. But he looks like he's handled the pressure pretty well right now.
Yeah.
He's handled it a lot better than a lot of folks would in the beginning of the season when things weren't going right. He stood in there, stood in the pocket, he took his hits, and he's taken a lot of them. I mean, he's had a lot. He's been under fire an awful lot with this offensive line and the ability and this team's inability to run the football. I think he's done pretty well.
Yeah, I
get to the spot where he is right now.
The resolve,
the
resiliency of Arch Manning, incredibly impressive for a young man his age. I mean,
no doubt about it.
I don't think there's been a college football player, maybe a college athlete in general, with more pressure and expectation on him than Arch Manning. And yeah, the first month did not go very well. And you had articles calling him college football's first flop, and people just were closing the book on him, saying he's a total bum, and does Texas need to make? You had Longhorn fans calling for a change.
Absolutely.
And for a lot of people, that could have crushed them. And for Arch Manning, he stayed the course. He continued to work at his craft, and obviously he has bounced back in a big way. And he's been one of the best quarterbacks in America over the last month.
He really fits the system right now, and I think the head coach knows what he does well. I think Arch understands what he does well. I think he's the kind of kid now that could go in and tell coach, I need to do more of this. This is what I do really, really best. Here's how comfortable I am. It's hard on a freshman to go into a guy who an experienced head coach like Sark and tell him, this is what I think I can do. No, that's generally when the head coach is telling you, no, here's what I think you do better. You're not quite to that point of telling me that you can do these. I think he's at that point now.
Yeah.
In even in his first year, the latter part of the year, he's been fantastic.
You could tell Sark trusts him a
Yes,
little bit more.
absolutely.
It feels like there's a lot less predetermined stuff.
Sure.
For Texas in the passing game, and it's a lot of, hey, Arch, trust yourself, man.
Absolutely.
Like, right, you can go through your reads. This is where you're supposed to look first, but if it's not there, no, go through your progressions. If you got to take off and run, go take off and run.
And I think when he sees these things that happen right in front of him, I think now he goes ahead and he takes the opportunity to make the big play.
He just looks more confident.
Sure.
He just looks more confident, more decisive, and obviously more accurate. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, no doubt about his accuracy.
Yeah, that was a big question early on. I mean, we saw that. Obviously, the Ohio State game is one we'll never forget, where it's just, even when he was given clean pockets, he just wasn't hitting the receivers who needed to hit. And nowadays, I mean, he's doing that when he's not getting clean pockets. But if you give this guy time, again, we've seen just how good he can be.
Oh, no, he can hurt you. He can hurt you with his arm and with his legs now.
And Arch Manning at home been so much better. He's 5-0 at DKR. 67% completion percentage, 16 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions, easy for me to say, averaging 9.6 yards per attempt. So he has been great in the friendly confines of DKR. Another big key, and I think this is a change that Texas has kind of had to make. I think part of this is on Sark. I think part of this is on Arch. Arch Manning, when he gets the ball out in less than 2.75 seconds, completing 74% of his passes. When he's holding onto the ball longer than that, he's at 52%.
You know, you mean the head coach has figured out you can't hold on to the ball with this offensive line?
Yeah. Like I know we'd like to take those deep shots. Look, last week it worked. Arch had some clean pockets. Was able to hit some guys down the field.
A bad Arkansas secondary.
With one of the worst secondaries I've ever seen in my entire life. And A&M's got much better players than they do and a much better coach than they do. But so that's why, look, I'd love to hit a few explosive plays down the field. I'd love for the offensive line to hold up to allow receivers time on those longer developing routes. But more likely, if this Texas passing offense is going to be successful, it's going to be quick, get the ball out fast.
And you got to have that today. You're going to have to have some explosive plays to keep up with this group today. So it's not about, this isn't dink and dunk night. This is, you need explosive plays to handle the ones that you're going to see against you tonight.
It's like yes and no. Obviously if A&M's scoring a lot, you've got to score with them, but I don't think Texas wants this game to be a shootout.
Oh, no.
I think you should try to slow it down. Obviously, score.
They got more bullets.
Right. Score however you could score, but I think if you're Texas, you think about the second half against Oklahoma where you were just able to slow the game down, kind of win the time of possession battle, and just keep John Mateer, that Oklahoma offense on the sideline. Sure. A huge key is to keep Marcel Reed and Casey Concepcion and Mario Craver and all of the weapons on A&M's offense on the sideline. Easier said than done, obviously, but you do that by winning the time of possession battle.
Yeah, and I don't see A&M. I don't see A&M having those long, sustained drives like that. I see explosive plays that they want to score in a big way and in a quick way. So it all depends on how the run game is going for them, because I already know how the run game's going here.
No faith?
No. I'm sorry. I can't muster up enough. I tried to muster up enough faith during the course of the day to say, you know what, Texas can do this on the ground. I just had a hard time.
I told you that UTSA had a running back go for nearly 190 yards against A&M earlier this season. Can you give you any more faith?
No.
Still no?
No.
Yeah, they're 7th in the SEC in rush defense.
No,
that's not at the top. Doesn't give you any more faith?
No.
Okay.
No, I've watched this Texas team run against Texas El Paso.
Yeah.
I mean, certain teams that they just couldn't run it. No.
They played the 2 worst rush defenses in the SEC, and they couldn't run it very well against them. And that was obviously a big key to the Longhorns win in College Station last year. As a team running for 243, Trey Wiseman 33 carries for 186 yards. I'm hoping for half of that. You can get to like 120 today against Texas A&M on the ground. If you can get there, maybe you've got a shot.
Yeah, the 120 sounds good. I'd love to see 130, but I don't think Sark's going to be willing to kind of wait that out. Like I said, if you've got 3 or 4 key plays that you like to run the ball with, well, you do those And if they don't work, you only do them once. You don't go back to that same thing and say, you know what, we've done pretty well. Now let's try this one more time.
So you're okay with an abandoning of the run game today?
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I mean, the way Arch Manning is playing, I mean, play action pass doesn't do any good. Who are you faking out a play action pass? Nobody.
Right.
Just drop back and throw the ball quick, get it out to your receivers. You got 4 guys who can catch the ball. When they're catching it, they catch it well enough.
Yeah.
And they can get and make some plays for you.
I just wonder how patient Steve Sarkisian is going to be willing to be on the grounds. I mean, earlier this week, he talked about we're doing whatever we have to do to win the game.
Which means he's not going to be very patient. He's not just going to keep, trying to go off tackle. I mean, if you're planning on using Arch Manning as one of your runners, then I think you've got to be patient. You got to give every once in a while, pull the ball out, take it if the end crashes down, or he runs with the ball and you have some success with it. Then that can help out your play action pass. But I think Arch Manning will be the key to the run game tonight.
You too. And I think Texas
This morning.
Since the concussion, it doesn't feel like Arch Manning's legs have been a big part of this offense.
No.
It will be. Again, this offense has been very good. Like post-concussion, Arch has been incredible. But the traditional run game, it hasn't been there for Texas. And that's a little bit of a wrinkle, right? Like A&M's watched film on Texas all season long. But again, you look at the last few weeks, you haven't seen a lot of design runs for Arch Manning. That could be something to maybe catch A&M off guard. Because again, I don't think they're going to load the box. I think the Aggies are confident that they can have a light box and still stop the Texas rushing attack. They know how bad it's been.
Sure.
They're going to trust their defensive line to win against the Texas offensive line. They want to drop some extra guys in the secondary to make sure Arch doesn't beat them through the air. So if you're Texas, if you try Trewisner and it's not working, I don't think you can just go away from the ground game altogether. You got to try Arch. You got to try Ryan Wingo maybe on a couple of reverses.
Well, no doubt about that.
You got to try a couple of different things to get something going on the ground versus just completely giving it up after a few snaps.
Yeah, I mean, Wingo would be the key guy for me because I don't know another running back in the situation right now with Texas that can get out there and give you 3 or 4 series of good football right now. I just don't. We haven't seen it.
Doesn't sound like C.J. Baxter is going to be your pick for offensive player of the game tonight.
No.
James Simon?
No.
Christian Clark?
No.
Garrett Gibson back out of the transfer portal?
No.
Okay.
No.
And I don't know all the walk-ons names.
If Greg Weiser was not the guy, then Arch Manning would be the guy. He started out as the best runner they had on the team.
Yeah.
And now, after post-concussion, I think he's now to the point where he doesn't mind running the ball. We saw him take a couple of hits. He's protecting himself well. And that's a big part of getting back and getting into the game, after a concussion. You have to take care of yourself.
Right.
Not only your teammates have to protect you, but you got to protect yourself also. And I think Arch has done a fantastic job of protecting himself.
Yes, he has.
He hasn't taken a lot of it. He takes enough hits when he releases the ball,
right,
and a guy hits him in the face. This is this offensive line. So
this is the game. I think you got to be willing to take a few more.
There's nothing to lose.
Right. That's it. Exactly.
The game.
I'm saying like Arch Manning, hey, be a battering ram and lower your head and try to truck dudes every single run the ball.
You got to run. Be smart with the ball. Slide when you can. But if you got a play to be made, do it with your legs today.
Right. Absolutely.
They're going to need you.
And that goes for everybody. Like if Steve Sarkisian has something in his bag that he has not called yet, plays, calls, schemes, personnel, whatever it is, tonight's the night.
Okay, when he puts number 21 in the game as a running back, I'll say this, Coach. A&M is going to figure out something. Go opposite or whatever you plan on.
Did it last week?
Yes.
Remember they did that fake screen to Niblet and they hit Wingo down the field.
Do it again. Do it again.
It's like something crazier than that.
Let's not forget they're Aggies. They're dumb.
They are dumb.
We're twice.
We're also pretty dumb.
Yeah.
These are two of the dumbest teams, at least in terms of penalties in college football this year.
Wow.
A&M ranking 125th in penalties per game. Texas ranking 133rd in penalties per game. And remember, there's only 136 teams in FBS college.
It's scary to see.
Yeah, so expect a little laundry on the field tonight. Day after Thanksgiving, people have been putting it off a little bit. There's going to be some laundry from the Zebras. And it's a standalone game for the refs too, Buck.
They want to be seen.
I know everyone's going to be watching this game tonight.
They want to be on TV.
This isn't just it's not
a
in college football. This is Friday night, Black Friday, standalone spot. Everyone's going to be watching this one.
So they want to throw some flags so everybody sees that.
No, absolutely.
Wow.
The buff ref tonight has been hitting the try.
Oh my goodness.
Man, be ready for that right there. But it just look, there's no tomorrow. I mean, again, odds are if Texas wins, they're not going to be playing in the college football playoff, meaning their next meaningful game will not be until September of 2026.
True.
So there's nothing to save here in this one. Whatever you have, whatever you haven't tried yet, we were kind of jealous. We were jealous of Georgia for a lot of things, what they did against Texas, but they were the team with the surprise onside kick.
Yes.
They were the team with the fake punt last year in the SEC championship game. Like, we want to see that kind of stuff for Texas. Pull out the stops, things you haven't done.
You put those things when you're confident in your team. Coach will tell you on Monday after a game how confident he was and going into the game. But confident coaches actually do it during the games. They do those things, onside kick, fake punts. That's what they do in the game when they're confident in their football team. They talk about what they were thinking about doing on Mondays. Well, we had this, we did this, but we didn't pull it out. Sorry. We didn't think it was the right time.
Right.
Confident coach just does it.
Right.
And says, you know what, the other part of my football team will back up. If I make this mistake and I'm doing this for the team, those guys have my back. This is not a confident coach in what his team can do right now.
No, and it's been so up and down all season. You kind of understand why. But again, you got to pull out all the stops if you're Steve Sarkisian tonight. Coach like there is no tomorrow, because there really might not be for Texas. So that's something I would like to see.
And you got to lean on the guy who's playing the best right now, and that's your quarterback.
Yeah.
You got to lean on the quarterback to get some things done and attempt some throws and whatever it is, whatever you have, razzle dazzle with a double pass. Give Wingo to get the ball back to the quarterback on some of these sweeps, and let's just go.
Yep. It's time for our offensive player of the game prediction. Brought to you by Moonshine, Patio, Bar and Grill.
Okay.
We'll tell you a little bit more about them in a moment. Buck, last week you went with Arch Manning. You were down on 6 touchdowns, maybe the best game of his University of Texas career. You going to double up on the quarterback tonight?
No, I'm going to go with Ryan Wingo.
Whoa!
Against the wide receivers that he's going against, he has to shine tonight. He has to be that guy. The guy who sometimes has a bad thumb or has all thumbs on his hands is got to have a great game tonight. He really has to have this underneath the lights tonight.
Yeah,
he would be fantastic. We saw him get down the field in a couple of different ways: reverses, catching and running with the ball, just going past the guys in their secondary. That would be good to see. He needs to have a one of those games. So when you go into the season next year, BK, all you're thinking about is this guy being an all-American type of wide receiver, like some of the ones we see all over the nation right now. Some of these young guys that are having these great years. He needs to be getting himself set up to do that.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen, but I hope you're right about Ryan Wingo having a great game tonight. And he did have 6 catches, 0 drops.
Yes,
last week against Arkansas. That's key. That's obviously been a big problem. We know how good he is when he gets the ball in his hands, but the first part of that equation is obviously the Wingo. So I hope you're right. I mean, I think he does have to have a great game for Texas to be great. But thank you for giving me Arch Manning. I appreciate it. Yeah. If you pick Arch Manning, I'm going to pick Arch Manning.
I mean, he has to have the game of his life tonight. I mean, legacy game like this means so much. It would mean so much to him. We saw what he did against Oklahoma. We saw how they played against Oklahoma, how important that game was. This is even more important to beat Texas A&M. An undefeated team coming here, number 3 in the nation.
Yep.
I mean, and it's not like you do spoil something for them.
You do.
You really, really do. Of course you do. The first time playing against his team and for him in a while, that's just great. This would be just great for him.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Aggies have never played in an SEC championship. If Texas beats them tonight, you were keeping that drought alive.
Yes, you were.
I'll call it a streak because I'm a Texas fan. You're keeping that streak alive. The Aggies haven't played in any conference championship game since 1998.
This is a big one.
He was 4 years old. I'm 31 right now.
This is a big game for this football team and for this program.
So, yeah, look, again, Texas, unfortunately, not playing for a spot in Atlanta. Unfortunately, probably not playing for a spot in the college football playoff. But you get bragging rights just for winning the game against the rival. But this is 2 years we kept you guys out of the SEC championship game. Remember that. Texas did that last year in College Station. The Aggies were so close they could taste it. Now, this is the best team they've had in 30 years. If you're able to beat them again,
you're absolutely right. That's right.
It's a big deal.
Right. Yeah, it's not. This will be back-to-back years of this madness for them.
Yeah.
They will hate this a lot.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
They're almost making me want to pick Texas.
Of course. I hope we do pick Texas tonight. We'll give our game score predictions before we get out of here in just over an hour. Getting some comments. Look, our internet connection, incredible. There are thousands of people here at Scholz Garten.
Oh my goodness.
This place is at capacity. There are people out the wazoo trying to get in. We have our own internet box, and it's still buffering at times. So Check out the Texas Sports Unfiltered app. I know our video quality probably not as good as it normally is, but it seems like our sound is okay. And trust me, we are doing everything we can to bring you guys this great.
There are thousands of people down here.
It's a freaking madhouse, dude. Good luck getting out of here. You
Yeah.
leave to go home after our pregame show is over.
You think I'll make it back home in a half hour?
Good news is because it's like an ABC standalone game, it's 6:30. It'll only be like 6:45, 6:50.
You're right.
But
Gives me that extra time.
I don't think you're going to be back by 6:45 or 6:50. I don't know if you will be off of San Jacinto for 6:45 or 6:50.
See if I can get down to the light here. That's about 200 yards.
Exactly.
See if I get
It
down.
will take you 20 to 25 minutes to move like that far.
Well worth it, man. This game is always well worth it.
Yeah, it's going to be just an insane crowd. I'm so lucky to get to go to this game. I'm going with the girlfriend's parents.
Oh, that'll be fun, man.
I'm a little terrified because, I've never experienced a Longhorn Aggie game in person.
Wow.
I started my college career, if you will, in 2012. Last time this game was played was 2011. So I have not gone to one of these in person, and I feel like I'm supposed to be respectful and nice when I'm around the ladies' family. I don't know if I'm capable of doing it.
It's busting up a storm here tonight.
Yeah.
Man. It's going to be hard to hold that back.
Be like one of those kid Oklahoma fans flipping the bird. I might be flipping the bird to any Aggie that I see this season.
It's enjoyable. This is a great rivalry.
I don't want any howdies. I don't want any whoops. I don't want any milkmen coming up to me. I don't need any of that stuff. The tag team, I need a whoop. There it is. I'm putting on all that shit, dude. I don't want any part of any Aggie tonight.
Yeah,
Unless Texas wins, then I will want to see all of them walking out of the stage.
This is a great and the pageantry of this game
Come on.
with their band, with that show band of the South here, and then you're going to have the Southwest, and then you're going to have the Aggie band. It is unbelievable pageantry in this football stadium tonight.
It's as good as it gets.
It's unbelievable.
And I love that it's in. Remember, last year was a Saturday night.
Yeah.
It's still a huge game, and God, the production from ABC. I remember because A&M's fight song, every single line is about Texas.
Yeah.
Obviously, Texas mentions A&M in their fight song too. So when A&M was playing their fight song before kickoff last year, they were showing lyrics on the ESPN screen before the game. I've never seen that for any other rivalry. Like they're going to go to the 9 with the production value, and again, this being in a standalone spot.
Yeah, BK. Nothing is better than this. The regular rivalry and all that stuff. No, it's not like this. This is different. This one right here is a different level. When you get in that stadium tonight, you'll know the difference.
Yeah.
And I know how much you love going to Dallas for that game. This one is going to be something really, really special for you.
I've been to that game more than a dozen times.
Yeah.
Again, it's my first Lone Star Showdown in person. So I'm pretty excited. And yeah, I think the juice at DKR will be second to none. All right. Well, that was a long-winded way of giving our offensive players.
Yes, it was.
But the Moonshine Patio Bar.
Hey, they had a Thanksgiving. What did they have? Buffet?
All you can eat.
All you could eat buffet yesterday for Thanksgiving there. So good job by them. But anytime you go to the Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill, you are going to have an absolute great meal. And tomorrow, yes, indeed. It's that. How about the buffet tomorrow? The buffet will be fantastic.
Tomorrow or Sunday.
Oh,
I think it's on Friday.
that's right. It's only Friday.
Weekend.
Buffet tomorrow.
Weekend. What?
So weekend brunch, plenty of parking down there. They have some construction down in that area, but they've got plenty of space for you. They got their own parking lot, so you'll enjoy the Moonshine and enjoy the great drinks and the great specials that they have down the Moonshine Patio Bar and Grill. And if you're not at this one, you can always go out to Avery Ranch.
Yes, indeed.
And hang out there at Avery Ranch. But this one is this is the place you're going to be.
MoonshineGrill.com
Yes,
for more
indeed.
information and to make a reservation. You don't need one. You can go in there. They got a great bar, great drinks. Yeah, the food is fantastic. Breaking news regarding Texas. Anthony Hill listed as a game time decision. In the final injury report of the week, Anthony Hill has been questionable all week long. He is listed as a game time decision tonight. And we will see, obviously, dealing with that hand injury. We'll see if he shows up and shows out for warm-ups. And more importantly, we'll see if he's ready to go. Well, our guy Mason Gomez is here.
What's going on?
What's going on with the Bucks? You getting some ice cream or something?
I think it's potty time. Potty break.
Oh, my God. When we do the show at home, Mason, Bucky has a little bucket that he keeps beside him.
A little catheter.
And not quite the catheter, although that would make for a very interesting look. But he's got a little pee bucket, and he swears in the 2+ years that we've done the show together that he's only used it one time. And he says that I didn't notice. And none of the audience noticed either when he was
As
using
long
it.
as the mic doesn't pick it up, it didn't happen.
I don't know if he could get away with that here. Normally we do the show at home. There's no one around him. There's too many people here for him to try that stuff.
I'm gonna cover the end of the table. We could probably get away with it.
It'd be okay. It'd be okay. Well, how you feeling about this game? You're a Texas grad. This is your first Texas A&M experience here in Austin. What's your confidence level tonight as the Buck will be back in the field?
I think we could pull it out. I think we have so much to play for tonight. It's been an up and down season, but I think the guys are going to be motivated tonight. That Arkansas game gave me hope the offense can produce. I just hope the defense can show up and limit A&M to under 30 somehow. And I think if that can happen, we'll come away with the W.
Yeah. What have you seen from Arch Manning lately? You've obviously been locked into every game this season. We know about the trials and tribulations in the first month, but he's really elevated his game. What have you seen from him, and what gives you confidence that he's going to make some things happen this evening?
Accuracy.
Yeah.
It's been improving every week, especially downfield accuracy. Last week we saw some deep balls.
Yeah.
The most he's had all season. Be on target. As long as we can limit drops, I think Art's going to have a good game.
Yeah, to your point, 3 pass completions, 40 or more air yards last week against Arkansas. In the first 10 games of this 2025 season, Texas only had 2 of them. So the deep ball was working now. A lot of that had to do with the Hog secondary being the Hog secondary. It's the worst in the SEC. But that hopefully gives this passing game a little bit more confidence. Man, if you could take the top off a defense, same with any defense, but if you could take the top off a defense and force them to drop a few more guys back in coverage, it's going to open up some things underneath, and hopefully it opens something up with his run game.
Secondary is nothing to write home about either. They have some injuries in the back half of that defense, and they've been giving up some passing yards. Arkansas lit them up a lot.
Yeah.
So they can be vulnerable back there.
They can give up some explosive plays. One of their starting safeties, Bryce Anderson, has been out for a month and a half. He's not going to be playing in this game. They've got some talent. They've got some experience there. But you're right. You go back and watch that first half of the South Carolina game when the Gamecocks were up 30-3. They hit him with a lot of chunk plays through the air. I think about how bad Texas's defense was against Arkansas, like you said, Mason. Arkansas went for 42 and more than 520 yards of offense against Texas A&M. So at times this year, they have been susceptible to the big play when the other quarterback has time. But and this offensive line for Texas, they're a big part of it, right? Like the big reason why Arch Manning was able to connect on some of those deep shots down the field, he had some time and some clean pockets in that football game. A&M's pass rush, one of the best in the country. It'll be a big test for what's been a very, very shaky offensive line.
It seems as soon as we found out that configuration of offensive linemen that we have now, they've been one of the better offensive lines in the SEC, giving up not that many sacks, not that many pressures. And you're right, Arch Manning having time to throw is helping him a lot.
I just wonder, in the Georgia game, it felt like the offensive line had turned a corner with the way they played against Vanderbilt. And you insert Connor Robertson in at center, you move Cole Hudson back to his natural position at left guard, and they played so well against a very good Vanderbilt football team. You're thinking, all right, maybe this is going to work. This is finally going to be the time where Texas can hold up in the trenches against Georgia, and then it reverted back to really, really bad. So is that just like a Georgia mental block that Texas has? Or is it, hey, when you're going up against elite defensive fronts, maybe bad things are going to happen? I guess we're going to find out tonight.
Yeah, I think Georgia, it's like Georgia playing Alabama. We just see the big G and we get scared
and freak out. All right, thank you, Mason, for filling in as the Buck returns from his bathroom break. What's going on with you, sir? 2-hour show? You can't make it 2 hours? You all right?
I did a 2-hour show this morning. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
It's 4 hours of making it.
Well, you could have taken a few leaks in between. From 47 to 9 a.m.
Remember when I was in the hospital a couple of weeks ago? Drink.
We were tea bucket here. You did not bring that, it appears. Be a little harder to get away.
Back behind the curtain, too.
Yeah, well, people behind that curtain, too. That would have been interesting. All right, so let's flip the script here. Mason and I were talking more about the Texas offense, but we got to talk about this Texas defense. Again, Anthony Hill listed as a game-time decision on the final injury report, so we're all going to find out together whether or not Anthony Hill is good to go for this Texas defense. You wonder if he's going to be suited up and maybe it's an in case of emergency situation. You wonder if, hey, maybe he's going to play in the first half, but when Anthony Smith comes back, then he'll not be able to. I don't know what to expect for Ant Hill, but Buck, obviously this Texas defense has its work cut out for them. This was one of the most elite groups in college football through the first 2 months. Even when you include the Ohio State and Florida games, Texas only gave up 11.9 points per game in the first 7 games of the season.
Yes.
The last 4, they've given up more than 35. So it has literally gone from one of the best in the country to really a group that's been one of the worst in the last month.
Or, we kept thinking about the depth of this team. We kept hearing how the depth for Sark, this was one of the deepest teams he's ever coached. And we really didn't see that as time has gone on. We really haven't seen that. We've seen it at the defensive line position where they went out and got a couple players, but the ones that have been here, we haven't seen that depth really progress, and especially in the secondary.
Yeah.
There were so many of those guys that were thinking, this guy's going to be a good one. This guy's going to be really good. It may take him 2 years or whatever. We really haven't seen the progress of the guys in the secondary. We really haven't.
Manny Muhammad's been rock solid. The other guys who have been a part of this program for multiple seasons just haven't quite taken that leap.
And now they got a bunch of young ones now who have taken their spots. You know what I'm saying? Now they got like freshmen taking care of guys who are redshirt sophomores and juniors that haven't been good enough to back up the ones that have started. Yeah. So now you got a whole group of freshmen, a crop of freshmen that are in the games actually playing.
It always scares me a little bit. Yeah. Like, it's exciting when you have really good freshmen who can contribute to a good football team, but it's also like, should we be concerned that some of Texas's best corners are the guys who have been coached the least by this coaching staff? Is that something that should bother us a little bit? The guys who have been with this staff the longest are the guys who have been struggling the most.
Well, it still tells you that they're recruiting at a really high level.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, once again, that's up to debate. Got guys coming in from Rutgers. You're doing, that's still kind of up for debate. But when you still recruit at the level that they're doing, and these guys are actually getting on the field as freshmen, it's kind of good. That's a good thing too.
It is. Grayson Littleton has been great.
Yes.
From game one, he's been tested every week, right? And teams will say, "Oh, there's the true freshman."
It's amazing.
More often than not, he's held his own. He stayed as a starter going into his 12th game and this 12th game of the season. And then Cade Phillips, played the 3rd most snaps of any Texas defender last week and did all right against Arkansas. I think he was the 2nd highest rated defender for Texas in that win over the Razorbacks last Saturday.
Yeah, when you're a freshman, you can get plenty of action coming at you.
So A&M's going to do that, right? Because Manny Muhammad, they would be scared of Manny Muhammad, but it's just not smart to go after him a whole lot when the other guys in the secondary have been as up and down as they've been. So, yeah, you're right. They are going to test Cade Phillips, number 11. They're going to test Grayson Littleton, number 29. Those are big-time matchups. If Texas is playing man, I don't know if we'll see a lot of man, but if the Longhorns are playing man, one of those guys is going to have to cover one of Craver or Concepcion. That's going to be a big-time matchup, needless to say.
Right. They cross those guys an awful lot across the field.
Yeah, they do.
They do some deep crossing routes with Craver, and he's the real speedster.
Yeah, he can fly.
Man, the other one's not a slouch when it comes to speed either.
No. I mean, they're both electric. 2 great transfer portal pickups for Texas A&M. They were supposed to be good, but I don't think any diehard Aggie fan thought those guys were going to be as good as they've been. But they've become 2 of the best wide receivers in all of college football. And it's a tough test for any secondary, but especially this Longhorn group that, again, just busted assignments, poor alignment, missed tackles, just about everything that you can do wrong as a defensive backfield that Texas has done wrong. And not really a great get-right opportunity against this group.
And it's showing up now because now they look really young in the secondary.
Yeah.
Not only are they young.
Like, the thing is, though, they're not that young.
They've been here.
Like, Michael Tabb is here 5. It's coming. Johnny McDonald's a senior. He's really struggled lately. Jalen Gilbo's a senior. He got benched for the true freshman Cade Phillips. So that's like, now they have some young guys, but it hasn't always been young guys back there. It's the experienced dudes who just haven't been good enough.
Yeah,
they're parts.
Yeah, and so I'll tell you who I've already picked as my defensive player. Now the other guy not. I picked Michael Tapp because I can't see him going out the way I saw him last week.
Oh, man.
Been put into a spin cycle
a couple of times.
A few times by guys. And, he's not been one of those guys who ducks his head when it comes to tackling. He's generally nose up, face up, and he makes some sure tackles. But last week, I don't think I've seen him play like that before. He just was not, he wasn't the same. I don't know if he was directing traffic with the rest of the guys. He has a tendency when he's directing traffic and getting everybody placed in the right position, not to take care of himself. The last week was one of those deals where he became the focal point on a lot of plays, BK. that he looked bad at. He really did. So,
And we love Michael Taft. He's a great player. He's done so much for the University of Texas, but I think we can acknowledge that he has some physical limitations. So A&M, if they can get one of their speedy wide receivers in a one-on-one against Michael Taft, I don't think they're going to shy away from that matchup.
yeah, you hope that doesn't happen because those guys can absolutely fly.
Yeah.
You want Michael Taft in position to make plays in the run and in the pass.
Yeah.
He's going to have enough. He's going to have his hands full with the big 6'7" tight end who's going to be coming down the middle of the field an awful lot for Texas A&M.
100%. And I think Michael Taft has to be one of Texas's best players.
Yes.
Right? You're giving him the nod as your defensive player.
The nod tonight is because this could be his last game here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
He's got no more eligibility. Like some of these guys have a decision to make. Michael Taft, remember, he almost left after last season, so he decided to come back for one more ride, hoping to compete for a national championship. Fortunately, he won't really get the chance to do that. But he participated in senior day last year. He's going to get to do it again tonight. He's going to get a raucous ovation from the crowd.
I don't think to go out of style.
Yeah, look, he's one of the best players on this team. Again, since coming back from that thumb injury, just hasn't quite been the same. But huge game, lifelong Longhorn fan. He knows how much this
And he's
game
still going to have
means.
the direct traffic back there.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have to do what he does, just at an incredibly high level. So
No doubt.
you need your star players to be your star players tonight.
That's for sure.
In a game like this, you're playing an undefeated team, number 3 in the country. Yeah, of course, you need some other guys, quote unquote, other guys to step up. But if the Colin Simmons, the Michael Tafts, the Arch Mannings, the Trevor Goosebys, if those guys don't do their jobs at an extremely high level, then it's not going to matter much what the other dudes are doing.
No, it does. You're right.
So Michael Taft is going to be a big part for Texas tonight if the Longhorns are able to pull off that upset. I like that pick. Who am I going with as my defensive player?
What you go with tonight? You've been going with the guy who's not playing.
I'm going with our guy, Ethan Burke.
Okay.
Another senior. Last
That's
home
right.
game at
Absolutely.
DKR was great against the Aggies last year.
Yes, that's a good pick.
To the goal line stand, he was instrumental on a couple of those stops in the fourth quarter in College
He's going to be
Station.
really good against the run tonight too.
Exactly. And I think he's a really good matchup against Marcel Reed. We've seen him play a lot more against dual threat quarterbacks in the SEC. He's Texas's best run defender off the edge. I think he's Texas's second best edge rusher overall behind Colin Simmons.
You just him knock a couple balls down too.
Yeah, but another guy from Austin knows about this rivalry, knows what it means to Texas and Texas fans. And number 91, I think, is going to be on the field a lot.
It's a good pick.
And I think it's paramount for him to have a great game. And I expect him to have a great
That's a
game
good pick.
for the Longhorns. Yeah. And Marcel Reed, we know he loves, and it's a huge part of Colin. You think of what Colin Klein was as a player back at Kansas State. The quarterback run game was who he was. That's a big part of the A&M offense. It's not just scramble drill. It's a lot of design runs, zone reads, option plays, whatever. You've got to be smart. You've got to be disciplined. And Ethan Burke having a senior out there on the outside to set the edge, that's a big thing.
And they didn't do a great job of setting the edge last week.
No, they struggled
against Arkansas.
They did.
The Arkansas running back got outside. Washington got outside a few times on them last week. So you can't have that with the guys at Texas A&M have right now.
It felt like every edge rusher, including Ethan Burke,
Yes.
got at least one time by a zone read keeper from Taylor Green or KJ Jackson, the other Arkansas quarterback who played. So, yeah, Marcel Reed, obviously electric, obviously explosive, second on the Aggie team with 5 rushing touchdowns this year. He is the straw that stirs the drink for his offense. Big part of why they have a top 25 rushing offense in America this year. And, that's a tough element to stop for Texas. They're going to need everybody on that defensive line to play at a high level.
This Aggie team has played handcuff with the running back out a bunch of times. They'll bring their second guy in, they'll bring their third guy in, but they have a talented group. They may have one of the most talented groups, if not the most talented group of runners. We know what their offensive line is like, so it makes it a little easier on the runners.
Yeah, I think it's the deepest running back room ever. I like they don't have the best running back in the country. They don't have like a Jeremiah Love, that level of elite run. But the fact that, Le'Veon Moss can miss 6 games and they can still run the ball
And
as they have. Ruben Owens, former 5-star, he's kind of taken over as the guy. They've got Emmitt Smith's son, EJ Smith, who's a 6th-year player. No idea how that guy's still allowed to play college football, but he's still out there. They got Amari.
So there are other guys that can continue on their college career for 6-7 years.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
And I guess the COVID pandemic is still going on apparently because the COVID year still exists. So, he's still able to play. Amari Daniels is out there. and they've got a bunch of different weapons. Terry Bussey's kind of a do-it-all, a jack of all trades, all-purpose guy, but they'll hand him off a couple of times as well.
And he may be the guy you have to look out for. And the other guys may be covered up pretty well. But Buss is really later in the season is having a really good year.
Yeah, Jamari and Moro too. They can hit you in a bunch of different ways. And yeah, Terry Bussey, something we'll get into special teams a little bit more in a second, but Terry Bussey is one of the best kickoff returners.
Yes.
Concepcion's the punt returner. Bussey is the kickoff returner. And since Will Stone hit the transfer portal, remember Texas's kickoff specialist left the program in the middle of the year.
Right.
Since Mason Shipley had taken over that, there just haven't been as many touchbacks. So if you're Texas, you have to be on high alert on those kickoffs. Yes. NFL where you got that crazy kickoff rule and it's easy. No, this is that. Yeah, I'm a little worried about that being a game-changing play because again, it was like for a while with Will Stone, it was automatic touchback. You're not quite having that with Mason Shipley.
Your guys have been returning the ball.
Yeah, so you better be ready to go against Terry Bussey. But yeah, anyways, Ethan Burke, my defensive player of the game.
Good pick.
That's brought to you by Kenfield Golf Cars. Oh man, I've seen about 1,000
They are all over the place.
Kenfield golf cars rolling around. If you are in the market for a new or pre-owned golf cart, we've got good news. Our friends at Kenfield Golf Cars are right around the corner. They were established way back in 1979. They are the very best at what they do. Nobody has more inventory, whether it's new or used. If you already have a golf cart that you want to elevate for your family, they can do that for you. No job too big, no job too small. If you're looking for rental carts, they have that as well. 40 plus years here in the Austin area. They carry all of the top brands. They serve the entire Central Texas region. Convenient pickup for everybody. I'm telling you, Kenfield Golf Cars. That's who the University of Texas trusts for their golf cart needs on game day. And that's who you should trust as well.
They're all over the place.
Oh my God. Yeah. How do I get one of those? It's kind of like fake being handicapped on my way out of here. Is that frowned upon?
That's it is. It's frowned upon.
Walk out with a limp. They're not going to like that very much.
If you can hold me up and maybe and just start yelling for one.
You have a handicap parking pass. Let me check.
I don't know. I haven't
Come
yelled.
on, man. Not that.
I don't know. I didn't get yelled at about getting one. Why don't you have one?
Plus, you. I need that. You need that.
Yeah.
We need that.
Absolutely.
KenfieldGolfCars.com, or you can give them a call, 512-258-8515. Adam and the great team out there will take care of you. All right, let's get to our first round of scoreboard updates here. Obviously, we'll dive back into Texas and Texas A&M. There's a lot of scoreboard watching going on tomorrow for Longhorn fans everywhere. Texas needs a win tonight. Obviously, some help from a number of different teams around the college football world to have a shot to get in to the CFP. Some games from earlier today. Texas really could have used a Utah loss. They did not get a Utah loss. The Utes on the road at Kansas get a 31-21 win. The Jayhawks had plenty of opportunities in that game. We've had plenty of opportunities in every game this season. They just find ways to lose them. That's what they did. So not a lot of help from KU there. Utah ranked number 13. Texas currently ranked number 16. We'll see if a win over A&M can do enough for the Horns to jump the Utes when the new rankings come out on Tuesday. One SEC game in progress, rivalry game in Atlanta. Number 4, Georgia on top of number 23, Georgia Tech, 16-6. Defensive struggle midway through the fourth quarter. That is a neutral site game at Mercedes-Benz. And Georgia's already in the playoff. Georgia Tech probably not in the playoff, but rivalry game there. That's rather ranked matchup going on right now. Earlier today, was it the last game for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss? But the Rebels,
Yeah, he'll make his decision tomorrow morning. I believe.
no distraction. They crushed Mississippi State,
Yes, they did.
38-19. The final score was closely, but Ole Miss pulled away in the second half. Obviously, a lot of noise surrounding Lane Kiffin's big decision. We learned earlier today that Florida is out of the game. So Lane Kiffin is deciding between LSU or sticking around in Oxford.
Yes.
Again, a decision is expected by tomorrow. I don't know if you watched that game with the sound on, but like half the broadcast was talking about Lane Kiffin.
Not the game.
Even caring about the damn game anymore. But what say you? You think that was Lane Kiffin's last game at this?
I do. I think he'll be going to LSU.
Hey, now obviously, if he does leave, will he be allowed to coach the Rebs in the playoff? an interesting question. Ole Miss is going to make it. They're 11-1. Even if Lane Kiffin leaves, you still have to put them in somewhere. But yeah, I don't think Ole Miss is going to allow him.
No, I don't think so. I think they already have something all set. They've got something in place for if that happens or when it happens tomorrow, that he will not coach in that game.
And they didn't interview the AD live on air, but they were talking about the TV broadcast crew was like, yeah, we talked to the Ole Miss AD before the game, and he said he expects like what else is he supposed to say?
Yeah, really.
Right? Like we know he's leaving. He's going to break the news right there. So obviously a big storyline surrounding the college football world. And we should get an answer on that tomorrow. But yeah, Ole Miss making it to the college football playoff. That obviously takes a spot away from Texas. So pulling for Hail State earlier today, the Longhorns did not get that help. Obviously tomorrow, dude, you need like 15 different things to happen.
There's too many things that need to happen.
Yeah.
Texas, I mean, for the Longhorn fans, you should just concentrate on this one.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
And Stark talked about it this week. He talked about it last week. It's like we can't control what happens around the country. We can only control what we can control. And
if you don't get it done, you don't get to go anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, we've been talking about this for like a month. Like, okay, what needs to happen for Texas to get in? And
they need to win them all.
If they finish the year 9-3, then all that talk was a total waste of breath. And yeah, Sark said we're not even talking about the playoff stuff. We know where we're at. We're just going to try to go out and win a football game. So there you go. There's your scoreboard updates powered by our friends at Gobundance. Legends like Earl Campbell, who's here, like 30 yards from us right now. And Ricky Williams showed us what it means to run with power, play with heart, and never quit. Texas football has always been about determination and pride. That same fire lived within Gobundance, where men push each other to stay hungry, stay humble, and achieve what others never thought could be possible. If you are ready to level up in business, if you're ready to level up in your family life, your health, your life, just anything, Gobundance is your team. Join the tribe today at gobundance.com/TSU. Once again, GOBUNDANCE.com/TSU.
Yes, indeed.
You got an on-camera fan club now.
That's my wonderful lady that used to be one of our wonderful secretaries over at the University, Brenda, is here.
I'll shout out.
I haven't seen Brenda for a while.
Shout out to Brenda. Thank you for joining us. Getting some valuable entertainment
on YouTube.
You're right, Brenda. See the camera right there. You're one. You're famous right now. She's not entirely sure what we're talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get back to Texas and Texas A&M. I do want to get to the special teams a little bit, Buck. We mentioned the A&M return game here. Something that's interesting here. The Aggies have had some major problems in the kicking game. They're 11-0. They haven't had a lot of problems up and down their roster, but their kicker, Randy Bond, has been the starter there for a few years. He's having like a 2024 Auburn season. Oh, boy. He's been really, really good, but just this year has not been good for him. Randy Bond is 11 of 18 on field goals to the point where they actually benched him.
He would have been called for his head by now.
Yeah, and I think A&M already has, because last week in the Aggies win over Samford, Jared Circle, I guess is their backup, he kicked the field goals. He's 3 for 4 on the field goals this season. He was 2 for 3 last week against Samford, but you always want to hold the other team to 3 points. Sure. A&M's kicking game is nothing close to a sure thing right now. That could be good news for Texas.
Well, that's one of the good news deals for them.
Yeah.
But they've got a pretty good punter also.
They've got a solid punter too. Yeah. But I mean, it's points. We're feeling like this game is going to be a shootout. And I feel pretty good about Mason Shipley trailing onto the field if he needs to kick one for Texas. The Aggies don't have that assuredness that their field goal is going to go out there and do what he needs to do.
11 for 18.
11 for 18. And again, he got benched. So I don't know if, it's Samford, let's just see what the other guy has, and we'll bring back the starter for a real game against a real team, or if it's like, no,
if it's not any good right now.
That's just the end right there. So that's something to look out for. I mean, I think hidden yardage here, special teams. This is a 2.5 point line right now, according to our friends in Vegas. It's going to come down to something that maybe you're not talking about or not expecting. And the A&M place kicking game could be the difference in this one.
Yeah, and as you said, special teams will mean a lot. I mean, that means holding, grabbing, reaching, penalties in the course of this. Special teams will be important too. You get if Texas gets a good punt return, can't have guys holding tonight.
How you feeling about Texas in the penalty game?
I'm still going with 6.
Okay.
6 will be under their average. So
6 would be tied for the second fewest this season for Texas.
well, in order to win a game like this, that's what you have to be. That's what you have to do.
They had 7 last week against Arkansas.
Right.
Their best performance was 4 against Oklahoma. And those are the only 2 games where Texas has won the penalty battle against their opponent.
Right.
2025. It is a rivalry game. That's been a nice theme. 2 rivalry games. You've won the penalty matchup in both of them.
Yeah, and you've got 2 teams that are really often penalized tonight. Too.
And it's something we touched on earlier. If you're Texas, you just cannot get
No.
behind the chains.
No.
You just can't do that against Texas A&M. Texas hasn't been a great third down team on their own. They're 11th in the SEC in third down conversion percentage. And again, the Aggies have a historically good third down defense. So this is one of those where if you're committing penalties on offense, you have 0 chance.
You and I talk about playing dumb. You can't play dumb tonight.
No.
Let the Aggies be dumb.
It's hard enough to
They're
beat
used
this
to it.
team.
They're used to it.
They are used to it. It's hard enough to beat this team when you're doing everything right.
Yes.
When you're shooting yourself in the foot, it obviously makes life a lot more difficult.
No, you can't make these 1st and 15 deals against this team.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
not the group to do it again.
No, it is not at all. So Texas being smart there. Obviously defensively too with those penalties. Can't have those. You can't give A&M extra opportunities on the offensive side of the football.
Dogs, we're eating the dogs.
Some dogs rolling around
Yeah.
here. Something you usually see. That wasn't a collie. If it was a collie, throwing it in the trash, right? Kidding, obviously. But yeah, there you go. So penalties, obviously something. And takeaways. I know this is kind of Captain Obvious stuff here. Like, oh yeah, you want to win the turnover battle. That's how it works. Another thing that A&M has not been good at this year. They are -5 this season in turnover margin. That is 94th in the country. They only have 9 takeaways. As good as their defense has been, and they've got
Correct.
star players at all 3 levels.
It's going to be on 3rd down.
Once they are down, they only have 9 takeaways this season in 11 games. That is second to last in the Southeastern Conference. Meanwhile, you flip the script. Texas has only given it up 8 times this year.
I like that.
So that's kind of like a strength on weakness matchup, right? Texas has done a really good job protecting the football on offense.
Yes.
A&M has done a pretty bad job taking the ball away on defense here. Meanwhile, the Longhorns are number 11 in the country in turnover margin. So that's one. Again, it's you're looking for that ultimate equalizer right there. You're looking for ways to pull off an upset. If you can win the turnover battle, that could go a long way into doing it.
You know, you got to win the turnover battle tonight. That's one of my 3 keys. That's number 3. You've got to win the turnover battle.
I took
You
one
can't-
from you.
You can't be behind them tonight in turnovers. You can't have 3 of those and they have 1. You have to win this battle tonight.
And Arch Manning only 2 interceptions in the last
You
one.
the ball very, very careful with the football.
And one thing, I'll knock on wood, but every time I bring it up, I'm knocking on wood. And I keep bringing it up, so no announcer's jinx to this point. Texas has only lost 1 fumble as a team this year. That is everything else that has been awful with this run game. Drops have obviously been an issue with the receivers, but they played 11 games and lost 1 fumble against a very, very difficult schedule. So this is not the game where all of a sudden you start putting the ball on the turf.
No.
You do that, you're going to have a really bad time. Again, A&M doesn't need a lot of help. The offense is good enough as it is. You're turning the ball
And the
over.
defense is good enough too.
You're turning the ball over, getting it short fields. That's
Handling the ball
it sounds like you're scared still of this A&M team.
a little
We're
bit.
27 minutes away from the show being over, and it sounds like you're not picking Texas to win here at all.
No, I am picking Texas to win. As a matter of fact, yes.
All right. Well, say something positive about Texas, please, so I believe
You've
you.
been talking about the doggone quarterback.
Me one positive thing. So you're talking about one player on a roster of over 100. I need more from you.
So I'm taking Wingo as the offensive player.
Okay.
That's not back to back taking Arch Manning, which was that's an easy one to go after.
Right?
Wingo's going to have a great game tonight.
It's,
A great game.
so 2 players now.
2 players that make a real difference. Wingo will make a difference tonight.
He has to. He
Yeah.
has to. And Texas did a great job against Arkansas at spreading the football around.
Yes.
4 different receivers had more than 60 yards last week. Again,
I could have taken Jack Entry.
you could have taken Jack Andrews. That would have been horrible. You could have taken Jack Andrews. We tried earlier this season a few different times.
Yes, 2 different times.
Maybe tonight's the night where the transfer tight end finally makes a big impact. Sometimes in these rivalry games, it's the guy that you don't expect
Yeah, the guy that you least expect is the guy who gets 6 or 7 passes in the game.
who steps up and makes it happen. So that would obviously be a big key
It absolutely would.
for Texas tonight. All right, let's get to the Bucs 3 keys to victory. I already spoiled one of them. This is brought to you by our great friends at St. Patrick. Buck, if the Longhorns are going to pull off the upset and ruin Texas A&M's unbeaten season, what needs to happen?
Got to protect the quarterback once again. That for this team. It's just about every week. It's the number one thing.
Yep.
Protect the quarterback, tackle and fit, and win the turnover battles. I mean, tackle and fit. That means if you don't make the tackle, you force the guy into an area. The next man up has to make the tackle. BK. You can't have the guys, their wide receivers, making 2 or 3 guys just disappear on. They can't get in the spin cycle tonight. They have to tackle these guys. They have to be there and make the tackle. It'd be nice if the first guy could make the tackle.
Yep.
But if not, the second guy must fit in properly.
A lot of rallying to the
Yeah,
football,
good.
a lot of swarming. Use
Yeah.
it D'Amico Ryan's term down in
Yes,
Houston.
lots of swarming the ball, maybe cause a fumble, maybe get a guy from behind, slap the ball away. But you got to tackle and fit tonight.
Need 11 white hats
Oh my goodness.
flying to the football on every single play.
Yes.
And Mario Craver, a stat we mentioned this morning, leads the SEC receivers in missed tackles forced.
To make you miss.
And KC Concepcion, I think, is 6th amongst SEC wide receivers in missed tackles forced. So, yeah, those guys have the ability to turn nothing into something.
Yes, they do.
And obviously, if Texas isn't sure tackling, then it could be a problem. Even if you do play a, hey, let's keep everything in front of us defense, if you don't make a tackle, things can get behind you very, very easily.
Oh, with these 2 dudes, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's been an issue for Texas as of late, really, really struggling with tackling. Again, it's not something we've seen around here the last couple of years, but it has reared its head at the worst possible time this season.
Really well with the linebackers, but like you said, over the last couple of games, the fit it's not been there.
No, and obviously being unsure of the status of Anthony Hill,
That hurts.
freaks you out a little bit because even when he's on the field, you're getting some questionable run fits from your linebackers, and without him, it's a totally different ball game. So I like that. Protect the quarterback, tackle, and fits.
Yes.
And then
Win the turnover.
win
battle.
the turnover battle. It's as simple as that.
For sure.
All right, Bucky's 3 keys to victory brought to you by our great friends at St. Patrick. We were out there this morning.
Yes, we were. We were there nice and early, 5222 Burnett Road, $59 online orders or more, free shipping, plus plenty of parking spaces when you go over there. It's not over. There's volleyball season. We got volleyball going on. We got women's basketball going on.
Yeah.
It's just not about football over at St. Patrick, but they've got all the gear that you're looking for, all the great polos, the hats, the caps, luggage is back. Jelly cats are there. I mean, what a place.
The place was packed
It
this
was,
morning.
it was. Once we left, people were just rolling in there.
I think they opened 30 minutes early.
Yes.
Like when we were done with our show, I saw some guy in the car
Just waiting to come.
and he rolled down his window and he's like, "Are they open yet?"
Right.
I'm like, "Well, let me ask. I don't think so. Let me ask." And they're like, "Shit, we'll take his money." And then they opened up the doors, and that place was a
It was great.
madhouse. They got some great Black Friday / Cyber Monday
they do.
deals going on this weekend. So, if you want to get some Longhorn gear, hopefully celebrating a win, clear getting some Texas gear, celebrating tomorrow. St. Patrick is the place to go. You can shop online at stpatrick.com. All right. More keys to a Texas win in this one. Again, Arch Manning in the run game. Let's get to the Texas pass rush, Buck,
Okay.
because we spent a lot of time talking about the question marks with the Longhorn secondary right now. We're talking about keeping everything in front of you. If this Texas secondary is going to be adequate tonight, forget great. If they're just going to be adequate tonight, a big part of that is going to have to be because the Texas pass rush is able to feast those guys, Colin Simmons, Ethan Burke, Lance Jackson, Zeno Umeo Zulu, whoever is out there, Trey Moore, if he's coming off the edge. Those guys have to have a great game tonight for Texas to have a chance.
So, Colin Simmons has now poured it on now. I mean, he has been absolutely fantastic. And he'll have to have a big game tonight. He will have to dominate. I don't think he can just be a guy that does some things and everybody else rallies around him. This will be a game for him to dominate.
Can we get a holding penalty called against Colin Simmons tonight?
That would be nice for 2 or 3.
I think the answer is no, because we played a lot of games this season and it just doesn't happen. So I don't know why I'm expecting in the last game of the year for all of a sudden that's changed.
National TV, take a dive.
Flop a little bit, sell the call.
Yeah, still the call.
Whatever it takes. I'm perfectly fine with that. And Colin Simmons has been a difference maker this
What has
year.
he ever?
Look, A&M's got a very good offensive line. They're very experienced. They don't have a lot of weaknesses up front. Their best pass blocker is their left tackle. So, if I'm Texas, Colin Simmons normally lines up on the right side of an opposing offensive line anyways. Yeah. I'm definitely keeping him over on the other side of Trey Zune, who has been an absolute monster. But, yeah, if you're Texas, You'd love to be able to just get pressure with 4 as often as you can so you can keep extra guys back there. And that's how you force Marcel Reed into some mistakes. He's been very good this season, but he has been prone to the turnover, the differences between his numbers when he has a clean pocket versus when he's under pressure.
Yeah,
Are pretty significant.
fidgety.
Yeah, he's only been pressured on 25% of his dropbacks, which is the second fewest in the SEC, but he has the third worst completion percentage under pressure in the SEC.
Yeah, once you get him moving, once you get some moving around in that pocket, he'll throw some up for grabs.
So that's the game plan right there. Obviously, you get him moving around in the pocket. He has the ability to take off and run. You can't just give him nonstop running lanes.
Part.
But if you can get pressure, if you can, force him into some rushed decisions, then you have the opportunity. And again, it's when you get those opportunities, because there will be there. It's not going to be 6 or 7.
No.
It may be 1 to 3. If you have a chance at an interception, look, remember the Kentucky game where Texas forced 4 fumbles and recovered none of them? That type of stuff cannot happen tonight.
Yeah, this is that game, BK, where the ball will be on the ground. You have to be the one to get it when it's on the ground.
Yep. If you have a shot at an interception,
you have to make the play.
I do not want to hear the announcer say, "Oh, that's why he's on the defense." Crappy 3 games. That's why they play wide receiver.
That's right.
Or used to play receiver, but because his hands were so bad, they switched it. I don't want to hear any of those annoying ass cliches from the podcast.
You need to make the plays tonight.
Make the play. If you do get a chance, make the play. Again, that goes into your third key to victory, winning the turnover battle. But you have to force Marcel Reed into some tough decisions. He'll overthrow it. I mean, I tell people to go back and watch these games. No one's going to do that. We're less than an hour away from kickoff in this one.
When he gets fidgety in there, he'll throw some off-balance throws.
Yeah.
And he'll give you an opportunity. But when he does that, as you said, you got to make those plays.
He's just an inconsistent decision maker, is how I would
He's getting better.
That's like his worst trait. Again, he's having a great year. There's not a ton to be super critical of Marcel Reed for. He's quarterback of a top 3 team in the country.
Yes.
He's top 10 in Heisman odds right now. So I don't want it to make it sound like he's a god-awful football player.
He's been pretty good.
But again, he's been inconsistent at times with his decision-making. And that first half against South Carolina, he was just totally missing dudes.
Yes.
And South Carolina was obviously taking a ton of advantage. It's how they built up that giant 27-point lead that they squandered pretty easily in the second half.
Yeah, but one thing you can't give them space.
No.
And let them get loose on you either.
No.
As a runner, he is fantastic as a runner.
He's a tough guard right there. But, getting pressure, I think that is the biggest key on defense for Texas. Offensively, it's staying ahead of the chains. For me, defensively, it is finding ways to make Marcel Reed beat you with his arm. Easier said than done,
For sure.
of course. But that's what we were saying about Diego Pavia when Vanderbilt came to town.
That's right.
And I know the last 5 minutes were the last 5 minutes, but they had that dude in hell for 3.5 quarters because they weren't letting him run and they weren't letting Vanderbilt getting the run game going. Now, A&M's better than Vanderbilt, but I don't.
Well, that's what you have to do to the quarterback, though.
Yeah, exactly. It's a similar type of strategy where it's, hey, you make that dude beat you. That gives you the best chance to win this football game. So staying sound in your run fits, but also getting pressure is massive for the Horns tonight.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun one.
Place is clearing out.
Oh yeah, people are getting over to the stadium now.
Now I will say this: if you are looking for a place to watch the game, we're gonna have it here at Scholz Garten. Tons of TVs. They're gonna have the sound on. They've got great food. They've got great drinks.
People are gonna try everything in the world to get in that stadium.
Oh my God! What was the bit that you did back in the day during the national anthem?
It was the Lehigh Lafayette game back in the day.
Huge rivalry game too, huh?
Rivalry in Pennsylvania.
100 people at those.
15,000 maybe.
What was the bit like during the national anthem? You guys would sneak in.
Well, the guards there, the police officers had to salute, and when they put them up, you went in, and they would not get off their salute.
They didn't turn.
No, they didn't turn.
They would like salute one hand and then grab you with the other hand and prevent you from.
As little creatures there in 7th, 8th grade, would get in there and be gone.
It's awesome.
That was the deal, and everybody knew that. They would not get off their salute.
How many people are we talking? Like how many kids would be running during the anthem?
13 kids get through there.
It'd be the same kids every single time.
Most of them did. We did it 1 year, and I felt so bad about it. Kids would do it every year. That was a big game. Plus, you had all the seating in the world. They had a big old stadium, but they never filled it up.
Yeah, tickets for that game were probably $5. You guys wouldn't pay it. Some pressure,
Absolutely.
whatever it takes right there. Tickets a little pricier
For this one,
for this one
you think?
tonight. Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Here's a little bit of sound. We haven't played any Steve Sarkisian sound so far today. Only one press conference this week from Sark, obviously, with the Thanksgiving holiday being yesterday. Here with Sark on Monday, talk a little bit about this Texas A&M team and the opportunity that's at stake here.
Heck of a challenge. Just a really good football team, and they're really good in all three phases. Defensively, the numbers are pretty startling. When you look at the third down defense, the sacks, the tackles for loss. You look at the explosive play ability that they have on offense with Marcel Reed, the variety of runners, and then obviously the receiving core with Concepcion and Craver leading the way. But then they got a lot of really good receivers that are making plays. The tight ends are making plays, and then on special teams, they got electric return game with Busty and Concepcion and kickoff and punt return. So, ton of credit to A&M and the job they've done to be undefeated up to this point. I think Coach Elko's done a fantastic job. Got a ton of respect for him and the way he's built that program. But that creates opportunity for us, and wouldn't want it any other way than to have this ball game at home. Like I said, Friday night after Thanksgiving, I can remember being a kid in California watching this game. It was the only game on Thanksgiving, and to be part of it is pretty special. And it was special a year ago. It's special again this year. I don't take games like this lightly. So, like I said, we got some work to do. Obviously, a little bit more of a challenging week with it being a short week. So, we've got to be really efficient with our preparation and our time, not only in the meeting room but on the practice field, to make sure that we're mentally and physically ready to play. To put our best foot forward against a top 3 team in the country.
And when he says mentally and physically, it is both mentally and physically.
Yeah.
Because Texas A&M is going to try. They're going to try to stump the Stars for Texas tonight. They really are. Texas has been had a few times with special teams. We know that. They're going to try everything they can. They're 11-0, and they can afford to take chances. You know what I'm saying? They can do that because they feel like they've got the backing of a pretty good defense and a pretty solid offense on that side. I'm sort of like you. I'd like to be the one first out of the gates and trying something against Texas A&M.
Sure. Be the aggressor.
Yes.
No reason not to.
Yes. You're going to have to be physical the entire game for 4 quarters. But when it comes to aggressive play calling, aggressive things you do on special teams, or whenever the opportunity sets itself, you got to be the aggressor tonight. You really have to go after.
And this is one of those games. I mean, both of these coaches have been preparing for this game for a long
Absolutely.
time. I know both teams had games last week. Is that a thumb up right there from an Aggie?
Yeah, he meant that.
That's a tough look right there.
That is.
It's not seen a lot of holds down. What's going on with the Aggies this year?
A lot of they're not. That's an Oklahoma thing.
A lack of confidence to me. They're nervous in College Station. They are.
Of course, they're nervous. They saw last year at this time
About this game.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think some Texas fans are nervous too, but A&M a lot on the line
Yes,
tonight.
they do.
They are nervous. But let me ask you this, Buck, as a coach, you've obviously coached in a lot of big games, and you've coached in the Texas A&M game before. Steve Sarkisian always talks about playing with emotion, but not playing emotional. How do you get your guys? Everyone knows it's a massive game. You don't have to have that rah-rah pregame speech.
No.
Because A&M. How do you get your guys to play within themselves and not try to do too much in a game of this magnitude?
Yeah, I mean, and you talk to them more about playing outside box. You play within the framework of what not just what your skill level is, but what the system is. You got to do what they practice. You can't go outside that box and say, I'm going to do it my way this time. You know what I'm saying? There are players that can do that and get away with it, and it works out, and you're going, yeah, and then you're going, no, don't do that. And then you're going, oh, no, nice play. But there are guys that have to play within the framework. You can't have a bunch of those guys doing that tonight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Senior night is one of those times when you have seniors playing, you don't know. It can go either way, BK, knowing this could be your last game. It is going to be your last game here. But knowing that, guys tend to, want to go out in a blaze of glory
Sure.
at times. And you got to be careful of that. That's the part that you can't have happen. You can't go out in a blaze of glory trying to do things your way when the scheme doesn't set that way.
One of those do your job kind of words.
It's definitely do your job kind of. Now there's going to be people that stand out. We see that all the time. We see it in Texas OU. You see it in rivalry games that somebody heroes are mates and so are goats.
Yeah.
So we're go. So
Not the greatest of all time, by the way. The other kind of goats that you're talking about there. Bless you.
excuse me. So you got to be careful of that, and especially on senior night is that one.
Yeah, I'm
Because
looking.
you really tried that extra. You know, you got a lot of family here. Last time you'll play, last time you'll be maybe in that uniform.
Yep.
So you get a little nervous. So you want to do things, but you need to do things the right way. And so coaches talk to. I did most of my talking about. Hey guys, listen. We got a lot of seniors out here. We want to send them out the right way. So you play within the framework of what we're talking about. You know, some of you are going to have a great game. Some of you are not going to have such a great game. That just happens that way. Well, let's not have a poor game because you made some poor decisions in this football game.
Yeah, to your point about senior day, 23 Longhorns
Wow.
will be honored before the game. Only 2 who have remaining eligibility beyond this year. One of them's Connor Robertson, fourth-year offensive lineman. One of them's Hero Canoe, who's a senior, but apparently has another year of eligibility remaining if he chooses to come back. But guys like Michael Taft, guys like Ethan Burke, guys like Cole Hudson, Jalen Gilbo, Trey Moore, a lot of dudes who have been a big part of this season, and some of those guys who have been big parts of multiple seasons here at Texas. Yeah, you want to put on a show. You want to end your home career with a victory. You can win your last rivalry game. It's a smart way. It's going to be tough to just play within yourself. It's hard. The young guys, too. Again, Texas has a lot of true freshmen who are going to be playing in this game tonight. This is their first Lone Star showdown. They know it's a standalone spot. This is an opportunity for them to make a name for themselves. It's not just doing your job. It's the keep it simple, stupid as well.
They've got to be. Those are the ones that are going to be more careful than anybody are the young ones. They're not jumping outside the box in this game. Not in their first one like this. They're a little bit nervous.
Right.
They want to make sure that they're doing exactly what coaches told them to do, what they've been coached to do. So
yeah,
they just have to play within themselves, and play to the abilities. I mean, that's why they got recruited to come to Texas.
Right. About 2 Aggies are walking home from the stadium after the game. They notice a dog sitting in the yard licking himself. One Aggie says to the other, "I wish I could do that." The other Aggie replies, "That dog will bite you." We haven't dropped enough Aggie jokes here today. 2 Aggies are taking a road trip. During the drive, they see a sign saying "Clean restrooms, next 5 exits." So they did.
Yeah, great.
Classic one. We had the one earlier today. How does an Aggie shower? He just pees in the wind.
There you go.
That's a classic. How do you get an Aggie off your front porch? Paying for the pizza.
Thank you very much.
Classic. You know why the Chicken Ranch in LaGrange shut down?
Why is that?
When Aggies found out it was women and not chickens, they called the cops. They're disappointed right there. Oh, man. So we forgot to ask for some Aggie jokes earlier in the show, but if you've got some of those for the final 10 minutes.
Oh, we're going to use them all on Monday anyway. There will be a Monday.
There will be a Monday. And hopefully it is a victory Monday.
How cool would that be?
Here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. But yeah, Texas. I mean, looking back at last year's game, I know it's 2 completely different teams, and there were 2 things that Texas did such a good job of. Obviously, the run game was the story. Trey Wiseman has been so great in these rivalry matchups. Was awesome against A&M last year. Was awesome against Oklahoma, both this year and last year. I've been told, he had a great week of practice, but he has a different level of intensity about him. I was also told that Steve Sarkisian has had a different level of intensity about him.
That's good, too.
Like, if he's seen anybody talking about anything else besides this football game tonight, he's basically gone up to them and been like, "Why are you doing it?" Like, that's not what we're about right now. We are about this game tonight. So if you could get that version of Trey Wisner, the rival slayer, would be awesome. And then the Longhorn defense, they pitched a shutout. They kept Marcel Reed in check. Only 146 passing yards, 1 interception. But the Aggies also ran for 3 yards a carry as a team. So Texas dominated in the trenches last year. They dominated the run game. Texas came up with some big stops when they needed to defensively. Like, that's the recipe right there. Winning the battle of physicality and winning those key situations.
Can they do that?
That's the recipe to an upset right there.
Yeah, that's an all-night cookie, though.
It is, 100%.
That's 4 quarters of this.
The Aggie running backs, I think they had 3 actual running backs who got carries last year. 17 carries, 35 yards total.
I like that.
In that football game. Like, that's the kind of thing. A&M's got the 3rd best rushing offense in America, in the SEC.
Right.
Averaging about 198 yards per game on the ground. Texas has a top 10 rush defense in America, giving up about 90 yards per game on the ground. You need that number, that rushing stat, to be a little closer to that 90-100 versus the 190-200.
Yes, and you need not to be in 3rd down and long tonight.
Offensively?
Yes, you can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big key.
That's huge.
That's where, yeah, Trey Wisner or Arch. I mean, again, it's whatever. It feels like Steve Sarkisian has tried everything you could possibly try in the Texas run game,
Yes.
looking for some consistency. But if there's maybe something you haven't tried, or if you could just find something that works early on, it's like, dude, you scrap every other run play you have and just keep going back to that one and force him to stop.
No, this is not the headbanger game.
No.
This is to find something that works game.
So can this offensive, we've seen them do it, Buck. We saw it in Dallas against Oklahoma. We saw it against Vanderbilt. Those are 2 top 10 teams. We're not talking about the Mississippi States and Kentuckys of the world. Against 2 top 10 teams, both in the state of Texas, the Texas offensive line was able to not only hold their own, but play really, really well.
Yes.
Like, do they have one more of those in them? It'd only be like 3 out of 12 games this year. I'm not asking for a ton, but can that happen tonight?
In order to win, you'll have to see that tonight.
What's your confidence level in us actually seeing that tonight?
I'm all right.
Okay.
I'm all right.
All right.
I'm there now.
I like it. Yeah, A&M's got a very good defensive line. I mean, they've got talent at all 3 levels. Torian York, haven't mentioned his name. He's a fantastic linebacker. It's going to feel like there's 2 of them on the field. Team leader in tackles. He's a stud. We talked about Cassius Howell earlier.
Let's not let Cassius get loose tonight.
I want Colin Simmons to be the best looking edge rusher
Absolutely.
in this football game tonight. That's going to be a big key. So, remember last year, A&M also did not score an offensive touchdown. Can we ask for that again?
Yeah, that would be good, but I don't think that's going to happen tonight.
No, I don't think it's.
No.
We get a quarter of keeping them out of the end zone. I think that'd be pretty good news. Oh, we've got to fix the TV chant going on here at Scholz Garten. I don't think I can do it. I wish I could. Everyone wants to watch Georgia Tech, apparently. Got to see the 4th quarter of that game.
Yeah.
Which, that's fair. All right, we've got 5 minutes left. It's about time for our game score prediction brought to you by our friends at Paul's Motor Works, just over 40 minutes away from kickoff. We've got a raffle drawing to do first, our final one of the year. By the way, shout out to our friends at Ariat and Cavenders.
Yes, sir.
For hooking up our listeners with prizes all year long. We're giving away a free pair of Ariat boots and denim. We've done that for every home game here at DKR. And on camera, the Buck is doing a drawing. Who you got, my friend?
Jade.
Uh-oh. Remember, you have to be able to read the name to be able to
I
win.
don't like that one. I don't.
Yeah,
Is that Heidel?
you struggle reading anyways.
Jade Hottie. Jude Hottie.
Jude?
Jude Hottie, Jade Hottie.
Was it? I mean, is that an A? I mean, that's not good Catholic school handwriting right there, is it?
Looks like a Jude.
Jude Hottie?
Oh boy, is that an H or an M?
It's an H, I believe.
We can read the number, so that's all that matters.
It's all that matters.
Congrats to Jude, we think,
Thank you.
on winning the Ariat boots and
Jade, that hottie.
or Jade or Job. Perhaps it's Job in the building tonight. I don't know. Hey Jude, don't
Hey,
make it
Jude.
bad.
There you
I don't
go.
know exactly who this is, but congrats. We will reach out to you. Thank you for coming by the TSU tailgate here at Scholz Garten. All right, it's time for our game score prediction brought to you by Paul's Motor Works. We'll tell you a little bit more about them in a moment. Our guy Mason Gomez is back. Mason, we will go to you first. Who wins tonight? What's the final score?
Texas win 31-28.
31-28. Good guys. All right, I like that. Buck?
Texas 34. Texas A&M 30.
How about that? What a roller coaster of a week it's been for you with your prediction for this game. You're picking the Longhorns.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Why? What's the final reason?
Well, I just think the quarterback's playing really well right
Okay.
now. I think the quarterback, and I think this Texas defense will show up tonight.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking anything's happening with the run game, but I think there will be a quite the showing by some individuals on offense tonight.
Now I'll be dead the next time I pick Texas A&M to beat Texas.
There you
So,
go.
of
That's
course, I'm picking the Longhorns to get this one done. I'm going to go 38-35.
okay.
I think it's a high-scoring game, a little bit of a shootout. I don't trust either of these defenses, but I think Texas just makes one more stop, and I'm going to go with Mason Shipley with the game-winning field goal at the buzzer.
Good job.
How about that? So there we go. We're going Texas. Thank you all for sending in your score predictions. It's been a great crowd on the Clean Cause YouTube comments line today. By the way, shout out to Paul's Motor Works presenting our game score prediction. They're the best, man. And if you're looking for a reliable car mechanic, I think everybody who drives wants to trust somebody with their car, Paul's Motor Works, they are who you are looking for. Paul's been a great friend of ours for a number of years. I drive 30 minutes to go see these guys.
Yes.
I literally
Gives us
passed like
change.
30 different shops to go to this one because I don't trust anybody
right.
with my 2014 Altima. All
There
right?
you go.
That's highfalutin stuff right there. I believe that's the car they give to players on recruiting trips.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
No. Okay. Well, missed opportunity there for sure. But love Paul's Motorworks, 620 and 2222. PMWAustin.com is the website. Tons of 5-star reviews. Paul's a big Longhorn fan, big time Texas sports unfiltered supporter. And yeah, go out and see them. Big repairs or something as small as an oil change. They have you covered. All right, man. This was fun. This is our last show at Scholz Garten.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been fantastic here.
Second year in a row, we've gotten to host our home pregame shows at the historic Scholz Garten. What a crowd. Again, if you're looking for a place to watch the game tonight, they've got it. They'll have the sound on. Great food, great drinks. It'll be a great atmosphere. Oh, my God. After the game, this place is going to be insane.
Wow.
Yeah, win, lose, or draw. It's going
to be insane.
The city is might blow up tonight for sure. But special thanks to all of our sponsors, including our title sponsors, AB Consultations and Covert Bee Cave. And thanks to the fine folks at Scholz Garten for hosting us all season long. Zay and Rodney will have postgame right after this one goes final. For Mason Gomez and Bucky Godbolt, I am BK Brad Kellner. Thanks so much for tuning into the Texas Sports Unfiltered pregame show. Y'all enjoy the game and the rest of the weekend. And hook 'em.